Episode 35. Thank you all for listening to episode 34, Tables, Ladders, and Thongs. I'm Gary, here with my co-host,
Bear.
And we also have a special guest today from the Grown Ups podcast.
I'm Ryan.
Ryan, you just thank you for coming on finally. I know last time you weren't able to. Can you just tell us a little bit more about your podcast? I tried to overview it, but I don't think I did a good job.
We deal mostly with like nerd and geek shit. We do a lot of video games, a lot of movies, pop culture, anything kind of falling in that genre. So if it deals with pop culture, comics, films, TV, music, we try to cover it, and we try to stay pretty current. And unfortunately, you know, we don't have quite the output you guys do. You know, the schedules have kind of gotten crazy among the five of us. So we used to do like once a week, and now it's like once a month. But I stand behind what we do. It's pretty good shit.
It is good stuff.
We actually did have Chris Cluey Skype in for a live interview for 2 hours. Chris Cluey gave us 2 hours. Yeah.
Shit.
Because he's a huge gamer, and he invents games, and he plays video games. And, yeah, Chris Cluey, 2 hours.
I did not know that. That's
Fucking
very
awesome.
interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know what episode that is off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head. That's why you need Brandon. I'll look it up while I can look it up on SoundCloud while we're talking about other stuff.
And not the Brandon on this show.
No.
Not that worthless piece of garbage.
No, and we are going to do a cross promotion. We've had Gary on before, but we're going to do a sports films one where we'll look at like the best and worst hockey films, best and worst football films, and we'll talk about sports and movies and how they're depicted. And why Adam Sandler needs to stay away.
He was good in 96 for Happy Gilmore. Now in 2018, not so much.
Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Or, Waterboy. Sorry.
I like Waterboy.
Waterboy.
I like Happy Gilmore, and I won't forgive him for The Longest Yard.
Yeah, that was rough.
No.
But at least they had Burt Reynolds in there.
Right.
Played the running back, right?
Right.
Right?
And
Yeah.
he was also in He was in Bulletproof or whatever that was with Damon Wayans, and he was like
It's terrible.
Yeah, and that's a kind of sports related movie, but yeah, Sandler needs to stay away. Nobody's buying it.
No, not anymore. Not 50 or 60 or however old he is now. I don't even know how old he is.
No, I think everything after 50 First Days has just kind of gone right downhill there.
Pretty much with his career.
Yeah, so check us out. We're on SoundCloud. We're on the iTunes store. It's dirty. I'm not going to lie. We have celebrity impersonators that do warnings at the beginning of every episode. My favorite one's Schwarzenegger telling you,
good.
not to listen. But I'm proud of it. As proud of you can be as something so juvenile. So.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I mean, I enjoy listening. You all play a part, which is fun. Like you and Brandon and Clay and Jeff and Jason. I mean, would you agree that Jason is the guy that knows nothing?
Yeah, we have four of us that would consider ourselves the smart ones. And then you have to have a guy who has to explain it to the audience that doesn't know anything about what you're talking about. And Jason's perfect because he really knows shit. It's kind of like you teach him something new every day. You see the light bulb go off. And it's been kind of nice because he's gotten into stuff because of us. You know, he got into Deadpool before everyone else got into Deadpool because of us. So
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
And what does he actually know anything about Deadpool though?
Oh yeah. He's kind of a walking Deadpool encyclopedia now. So.
That wouldn't be me. I'd be the Jason of that group there then.
No, I think you know your stuff. You come here with a lot of history.
I mean,
you do
just
pretty well with it.
with the Deadpool, I know a little bit of it. I've seen the movies. I'm not happy that they're going to come out with a third one that's PG-13.
No, it's stupid. Nobody needs that.
See,
that's
about it.
You knew that.
Yeah, I know that.
That's more than I knew. I didn't know that.
No, the cool thing about it though is if you watch TV in the 80s and 90s or played with toys or currently play video games or played them through the 80s or 90s, you can relate to the show. So.
Yeah, and I apologize. I knocked my mic over earlier. That hasn't happened yet. But thank you for the information. So I'll just tell you a little bit about our stuff. So you've heard, I know, some of the stuff. So we got to thank Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Thank you for the song. It's the official song of Over the Line Sports Podcast. And you can give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. Thank you to All Wear Clothing, the first and primary sponsor of Over the Line Sports Podcast. Crandall's Quality Lawn Care, another one. Thank you. He serves the Toledo and surrounding area and not
Miami, Florida.
Go with Miami. Is it because there's cocaine down there, or is there another reason?
Well, if he knew that, he might serve down there a little bit more. But no, that was just the first thing that came to my head as I am typing and not paying attention to you. So, sorry, First City.
No, that's good. So you can give him a call, 419-704-5471. Again, he does not serve Miami, Florida. Thanks to Verizon, a true technology business partner who helps local businesses deploy technologies that positively impact operations and can increase revenue for the company. At Verizon, we do not wait for the future, we build it. Go to the website, get in touch with a sales rep in your area. Thanks to PNC, you remember her name?
Oh, Cassandra.
Yes, Cassandra at PNC. Go visit her, and she will help you with your personal banking needs. And then also thanks to Charlie's Dodge, go visit Ben Meyer. He will give you a hookup on a new vehicle if you mention Over the Line Sports Podcast. So again, thanks to Charlie's Dodge, PNC, Crandall's Quality Lawn Care, Verizon, and All Wear Clothing.
Episode.
We got it with Chris Cluey.
Yeah. Chris Cluey episode is episode 32.
32.
The Grown Ups Podcast on SoundCloud or iTunes, episode 32, Chris Cluey.
Okay.
What is your most listened to episode besides number one? We know number one because
number one, and you know what? I will say it's the first one, so it's the one people listen to, and it's the one, and it's a good one. But we have 5 guys on the podcast now. I was not on at that time. Neither was Jeff, and it's just a very different show now. It's a little bit more. I don't know. We talk to each other the way we actually talk to each other in real life. And those first couple of episodes are really just trying to feel the whole thing out. So it's more organic now if you listen to later episodes. But
okay. Good.
Yeah, and so you've kind of seen the structure of our show and what we do.
You guys are really organized. Congratulations. What's that like?
Well, we have to be, especially when we run an agenda, and usually we try to run a time limit. It's kind of difficult. Sometimes we run, in these sports episodes, they might run up to 2 hours, but we really try to limit the wrestling one to an hour.
Yeah.
Because it's how it is. Saturday morning is when we do the wrestling show. No one wants to be here that early. So I think we did one at, 6 a.m.?
Yeah,
that was
you guys
brutal.
had to do a show one of those times. Or maybe that was Michigan State.
That was Michigan State, Ohio State. I had to get up to
that.
East Lansing. So, that's just part of what happens. But I get excited. You guys, when you guys actually have a show, it's kind of like those things that, like, you want something and you can't have it. Kind of like Brock Lesnar to wrestling. We talked a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is the champion or the Universal Champion on the Raw show. He's never on. And I'm like, that's kind of like your podcast. You guys don't have it as often as you would like, but people are drawn into it more when they actually get it. People get sick of us because we're on twice a week.
No, yeah, I kind of feel like we're like I can't think of his name right now. But, there's a couple of actors that only make a movie every couple of years.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a great example. That's who I was actually thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's an event. So maybe we are the Daniel Day-Lewis of podcasts. I don't know.
So you're the Abe Lincoln of podcasts.
Yeah.
The Abe Lincoln.
He was Lincoln, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
The William Cutting, who's my favorite character of his from Gangs of New York.
Oh, I like
so
that
good.
guy. Yeah.
He was, and he's retired now. Did you know that?
Yeah, I guess the last movie really kicked the shit out of him. So
Yeah.
he just said, I'm done.
And he doesn't need anything. He's just fuck it.
But he's the most, he is the most in character type of actor. Like when he played a quadriplegic and he was in the wheelchair the
My left
entire
foot,
time,
yep.
offset and everything.
Learned
Had to
art.
get pushed around and was just a total asshole to deal with. But I guess as Lincoln, he talked like Lincoln, offset all the time. He stayed in character the whole time.
Serious method actor. He learned, what did it say, 6 months to be a butcher, to be William Cutting in Gangs of New York. And he did, what is it, the one about the Salem witch trials. He was John Proctor. The Crucible, thank you. He was John Proctor. And that's where he met his wife, who is Arthur Miller's daughter.
Yeah.
That's his wife now, Rebecca, which is kind of funny to even know and think about. Like, here, I'm John Proctor, and I'm going to marry this guy's daughter. So, pretty phenomenal, if you ask me.
Arthur Miller's pretty impressive. He was married to Marilyn Monroe. I mean, that guy pulled some stuff down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling me.
It made my dad jealous, I guarantee that.
Yeah, your dad, man. His what is it, your whole the bathroom.
His bathroom. That's the only place he lets, or my mom lets him have anything is the bathroom. He has a full bathroom of Maryland shit everywhere. wine bottles, calendars, old pictures, absolutely anything you can think of.
Oh, I'd like
Monroe.
your dad. I used to collect stuff of hers. I still have a lot of it. I have a Marilyn Monroe pocket knife, of all things.
Yeah, you had a lot of stuff.
A Marilyn Monroe thermometer. I mean, I would get weird shit from people just because they knew I had it.
Take that Marilyn Monroe pocket knife and buy it from you and give it to him for Christmas. That's probably one thing he doesn't have.
I'd have to dig it up, but yeah, I got it somewhere.
Literally dig it up with his Marilyn Monroe shovel. Yeah, that's how it is. So one of the segments we do is Justin on the Twitter. So Justin, Justin. He put some Twitter questions up for us. So this time his Twitter question was, which conference will be the big winner in the college football bowl season? So we've got several conferences out there: SEC, Big 10, Pac-12, Big 12. There's many out there. What do you guys think? I mean, I think the SEC is going to be tough. I think the Big 10 is going to be tough in partial things.
I mean, I think it is, but I think honestly the conference to gain the most is what doesn't have a conference. That's Notre Dame.
Right.
I mean, Notre Dame has a chance to win the national title, so I'm going to take the only team out there who doesn't have a conference, to be honest with you. Obviously I root against the SEC as much as I can, and I'm going to do it again this year, but they have a lot of good teams. We're going to see exactly how good their teams are. I mean, we're going to see if LSU can take UCF. We're going to see if Georgia can beat Texas. Alabama and Oklahoma should be a good game. Those are a lot of tough matchups. Honestly, I haven't seen many more of the SEC matchups, and we'll go through them as we get there. And obviously, I hope the Big Ten does well. Always hope the Big Ten does well. So we're going to see, how great it pans out. But to be honest with you, I think the conference/non-conference game the most, that's Notre Dame.
What do you think?
I actually think, and I hate to say it, I think it's probably going to be the ACC or the SEC getting most of the bowl wins this year. I am a huge Big Ten guy and was really happy that the Big Ten did so well last season. I don't think they're going to repeat that success.
You remember who ruined it for us last year?
Fucking Michigan.
Yes. Yeah. They were terrible.
Right.
And they had the damn game.
I have them down. Spoiler, I have them losing this year, too, to Florida. So I think the SEC is going to do very well against who they're against. But I think the ACC is going to do pretty well in their bowl games. Most of their matchups, I have ACC teams winning. So we'll see.
It should be interesting to kind of see what happens. We have an ACC team in the college football playoff who is a tough team, and that's actually who that school with no conference is playing. And I know we'll get into that a little bit later.
I think MAC schools are going to do well. Yeah. To be honest.
Yeah, I think
they have favorable matchups. That's actually a pretty good one. I mean, I haven't really looked at these bowl games yet. I'm going to pull it up. I glanced at some, and I knew some, like when we had to do a show on Saturday, and you were with me, Ryan. You could hear me just talking to my tablet, just saying, all right, blah, blah, blah versus blah, blah, blah. This is the game. Because I had it. Didn't want to type all this on the tablet, so I was just talking to it like, I need you to know what these games are. So it was it'll be good. And so before we get into the picks, we have the special segment of bowl game names. So this year, what are some of, would you say, the best and worst names of bowl games? I will personally say the Cheez-It Bowl. I love Cheez-Its, but I don't get it. Like, I know they're a sponsor, but it's TCU in California. Cheez-Its.
Yeah, do you know where that's played? Do you have any idea? Because I don't, to be honest with you, but that's an interesting. I think my favorite one looking through is the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. I don't even know what the hell that is. I'm going to assume it's some sort of lawnmower, which it sounds like it's down in the Miami area, so maybe they don't need Sean down there. They already have their Bad Boy Mowers down there. The Mitsubishi Motors Bowl with Arizona State and Fresno State, somewhere where I doubt that they have any sort of foreign cars out there. But, I mean, just looking through, I think the one we talked about before, the game we added, Gary, the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. How about that?
That's a stupid bowl name.
Sorry, and I'm trying to find out where that Cal game is. I don't know where it is. You had the Sharabundi Boca Raton Bowl. Yeah.
What about the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl?
It used to be the Poinsettia Bowl.
Yes,
if you remember.
But they've done this before because it's been the San Diego County Credit Union Bowl a couple of times, and then they'll drop sponsorship, and then they come back. So that's a stupid bowl name. You guys know the Bahamas Bowl used to have somebody else, but now it's the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl.
I saw that.
And do you know what Makers wanted? It's a community outside of Chicago, Illinois. So it's about you can't even drive to the bowl game from the sponsor, which is the most ridiculous thing.
And that's where Toledo gets to play this year, right?
Yeah.
I think they're heading down there.
Yeah.
Lucky for them. The Jared Birmingham Bowl, that's got to be for
Jared the jeweler.
The jeweler,
that's what I was
right?
like.
Okay.
Oh, Jared Birmingham, he's a good person.
But you would think the Jared Bowl, they probably have a lot of money, and they're getting Memphis and Wake Forest. I feel like they should be somewhere like the Peach Bowl, maybe a New Year's One Bowl sort of thing. You would think.
Do you guys remember the Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl?
Yes, I actually do, which is terrible. I wish I didn't remember it.
Okay, so going way back to 1947 through 1955 was the Salad Bowl. We should bring it back.
We're going to go toss some salad in this bowl.
I hate the Pinstripe Bowl. I understand the name behind it.
I
just hate it.
Yeah.
And I know that's your thing, but...
Is that going to be in?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's still around.
And Miami's going to play up there?
Yeah, it's Miami. Who is it? Miami,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Yeah,
that's going to be a fun 9-6 game. Can't wait for that one.
I still don't know where this damn game is being played.
What about the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl? How about that? It's fancy.
I've never even heard of Nova Home Loans.
The Red Box Bowl. That's where your Sparties are playing at.
That's new this year.
They're gonna get smoked.
I mean, where's the Netflix or Hulu Bowl or any of those? I mean, those are Amazon.
Well,
Bowl.
Netflix is taking a dive. They can't afford to right now.
They're not taking a dive. They were sitting at like 75 before, and they were up to like 2 something.
And they're $8 billion in the hole. And then when Disney comes out with Disney Plus next year and pulls all Disney, all Marvel, all everything, they're fucked.
They'll be okay. Everyone's streaming now. They'll be fine.
I want to keep my Netflix account.
Well, I'm going to keep mine, but for their original stuff.
My DC, I have the DC Universe account, and that's so good. Eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to get too many streaming services, and you're going to have to keep them all in house.
Well, that's what ESPN's doing now with their ESPN Plus and only showing certain things.
Disney,
CBS,
Disney owns all of that.
I'm just saying, though, everyone's going to have their own. HBO already does. I'm sure Showtime will have one.
It's going to depend on who has the most. And right now, it's Disney owns fucking everything. They own ABC. They own ESPN.
Well, that's why Hulu's going to do so well, because Hulu has Fox and they have...
Well, Disney owns Hulu, too.
How?
They bought 20th Century Fox. They already owned a portion of Hulu, and now they get the other portion, so now they have full control of Hulu.
Some of us work for a living. We don't sit on the internet all day and look up who owns who.
Well, it's just it was a big thing in the news. I think he knew too.
Yeah, I knew about
That's a big ass thing in the news.
I don't watch the news.
I don't either.
Can we talk about
Obviously you did.
if you were on a team and you were sponsored, you were invited to go to any bowl game. I mean, some of them have cool names or cool locations. I don't think anybody'd be excited to be invited to the Dollar General Bowl.
Who is in that one this year?
Troy and Buffalo.
Well, that explains a lot right there.
That sounds right. 2 teams that would be in it. I'm surprised. I think Toledo's played it in a couple times, which would be great, because I wouldn't be surprised if Toledo has the most Dollar Generals per capita, I would guess.
Discount football at the Dollar General Bowl.
Right. That's exactly it. And but like you said, all these bowl games are going to be on what? ESPN, CBS, all over the place. And we're going to get to that point eventually. Do you think in the next 10 years we won't have cable, like wired-in cable, like Buckeye?
I mean, I would imagine something's still going to be there. They're just going to find ways to get around it, whether it is a stream, whether it's some sort of different. Maybe they just. I mean, I think what cable needs to do is they need to drop you get 70 channels. They just need to do a pick'em. I mean, kind of like what Hulu has done and what. What's the frickin' Fire Stick? What is that?
Amazon?
Nah, there's another one, isn't there?
Roku?
Yeah. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, that's what Sling does. I mean, Sling, you can just pay for the channels you want, and not get a package.
And one of those things you were saying, because we were talking about it, like Disney paid how much? It was like 20 or 40 billion to get 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, they got Fox, the library. They didn't get Fox News, but pretty much everything else.
And they got 20. There was 22 regional sports channels, like your Fox Sports, whatever. But I think they have to sell some of them as part of a dispute in court. I heard this when we were listening to Sirius, that like Amazon might buy some of them, which wouldn't surprise me.
Because of an antitrust act.
Right,
yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's like, gosh, I look at it. Disney, once they get all the rights to all that, they own everything. Like,
they already do. It's a huge media distribution network. I mean, when you look at what Disney owns in terms of not just outside of ABC and ESPN, and now Fox. But when you look at newspapers, magazines,
Right.
Disney actually owns an entire town called Celebration, Florida, where they have the Disney-sponsored public school system,
Yes.
where it's a Disney-mandated curriculum. Because, Florida's fucked up, and
Very.
that shit flies down there. Yeah.
And the weird and crazy thing is they still can't hold a torch to Amazon in terms of money. Like
No.
Amazon owns their ass in terms
No,
of
but
money.
everybody who works for Amazon quits because they're miserable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we've had some dealings with them at our company, and we kind of steered away from it for that very reason, and some other things as well. But it'll be interesting to see, when they actually take over everything. Like we were talking, you didn't obviously realize that, but Hulu, they're going to have Hulu, and they're going to have Disney Plus is what they're going to call it. Which
Yeah.
they're going to move all their Disney shit to Disney Plus. And they're going to have some, like Netflix has originals. They're going to do the same thing. They have a Star Wars show coming on there, a couple of them, I believe. So it's just like they're going to pull at families at least with people with kids. Like, I know I'm going to have it just because of my kid, but I also have Netflix. I have Hulu. I have Amazon Prime. But that's how I'm like, well, I need this damn show too, so I'm going to get that as well. And this is how it works for me. Like, you can see I have DirecTV now, and we're trying to find a damn game to watch, so it should be interesting.
You've passed over the Cavs 3 times.
Have I?
Yeah, and you passed over, Prince When Doves Cry.
I saw that.
I was hoping actually you'd click on that.
There's
love
really
that.
no reason to watch the Cavs anymore, though.
That is true, but they are playing the Knicks, so maybe they'll get
They have a
win
shot.
number 7.
Tonight they do, yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey, look at that. They're up by 18.
that's pretty good.
So they have plenty of time to blow it.
Yeah, I was reading an interview with Golden State's coach, and he said, "Yeah, the rivalry's over. It doesn't exist anymore between the Cavs
Yeah,
and
that's
No,
it.
no shit, Steve Kerr. LeBron left. Like
Right.
we know that.
We get what's going
Us
on.
as Cavs fans understand what's happening here. We know that the god of basketball has left us. Just like when Jordan left, they couldn't win a title either. So I mean, it makes sense with Chicago. And the Cavs are going to suck. They will. They got to suck, get Zion, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
No, they're young. God, they're young.
They're super young, and
And Love will be the next to go. We're not even doing basketball in this, but we might as well bring it in. Love will be the next to get traded. They need picks.
If we could have some fun bowl games, what would you name a bowl game?
The Disney Owns the World bowl game.
How about an Arnold Palmer spiked classic?
Go for it. I like it. Is that the coin toss?
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck it.
That would be a good one in your Arnold Palmer Spike Classic. Instead of the coin toss, you have 2 of your best drinkers on each team go. Whoever chugs first gets to pick.
So it's like that's what they should do.
Return a kick.
Vince, I hope you're listening.
XFL.
XFL, when that comes back next year or in 2020, that's what you should do. Ryan has a great idea.
I wish, speaking of the XFL, though, I wish he had gone to cities that didn't currently have teams.
I know.
Yeah.
They all have NFL teams, all the cities that he's going into.
We named them all. You probably didn't hear it.
And I think
we named a
he
lot.
was smart getting into St. Louis.
Yes.
That was great. But
'Cause they're
right,
gone.
that's what he needed to do. He needed
Yeah.
to stay in those cities.
They're playing at the Dome, which we have done shows there.
Yeah.
So
And they could have went to Oakland because they're about to lose the Raiders to Las Vegas.
and they have
So-
nowhere to play next year.
They
that was
are
big on ESPN this morning.
suing, though, big time. The
Yeah,
city is
Oakland
suing,
is.
trying to keep Oakland or trying to keep the Raiders in Oakland.
And that's why it would have been
They're gone.
huge to get the XFL in there because they probably would have taken them. It's football,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty sweet.
Vince
Those
would-
Raiders, they don't care.
When Vince is expanding in 2 years, he'll be doing that.
I think a great name for a bowl game would be the Snap into a Slim Jim Bowl. I'd watch that. I don't give a shit
Would
who's in it.
Macho Man still be your?
You'd have to have a cartoon version of him, but yeah.
Yes.
But now we would. Yeah, I don't think we could dig them up and do that, but we could. It's very possible.
The Cheez-It Bowl, by the way, is in Phoenix. It used to be it's at Chase Field, by the way. It used to be the Cactus Bowl, so it's the Cheez-It Bowl now.
Okay, so that makes sense. What about the Winston Cup Bowl and they play in like the middle of Bristol? Wait, where'd they do that football game? Where was that?
That was at
Bristol?
Bristol.
That was Bristol, right?
Yeah.
Virginia Tech played Tennessee, I think, right?
That was
They
at
should,
Bristol.
they should do the Winston Cup Bowl then. Bring back the old Pack of Smokes Bowl. I like that.
Pack of Smoke. The Marlboro. We're gonna play the Marlboro Bowl.
The Camel Heavy Bowl.
The NWO Bowl. How about that? The NWO can sponsor a bowl, or like a college. The Ohio State Bowl. Michigan's playing Florida in the Ohio State Bowl.
Yeah, it would make
I would
sense.
like to see the Wu-Tang Bowl. I think that'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be the best halftime show there. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah.
What about the Puppies Bowl? You can take that either way.
That'd be down in Memphis. That'd work out.
With Jerry Lawler as commentator.
I think they already have a Puppy Bowl though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this would be the better one.
Did you see, since we talked about Ohio State real quick, did you see the fun meme about, I lost it. It said, Urban Meyer has more wins against Ohio State than Jim Harbaugh does.
Yes.
Which
That's
is
true.
a fact.
That's true.
Harbaugh is what, 0-5?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was his 5th year. Yeah.
0-5. And Urban finishes 7-0 against Michigan at Ohio State.
Yep.
And now we got Ryan Day coming in.
7-1 all time, right? He lost him with Florida.
Yep.
And why does it seem like Michigan always plays Florida in a bowl game too?
Right.
Right. I feel like out of the last 10 years, it's happened 3 or 4 times.
Because when they're both good, they're good at the same time, or they suck at the same time, so they end up in the same bowl.
and this year they've
But
been mediocre at the same time.
They're good
Right.
They're good enough at the same time to get into a decent bowl, and it's not some mediocre shit. Your
Right.
shirt, by the way, reminded me, since you're wearing a Bayside Tigers shirt,
Yes.
I would like to see the Screech Powers fuck Zach Morris Bowl. I'd watch that.
The Kelly Kapowski Bowl, I'm down
Right.
for that. Just watch her all day.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it. And Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
She still looks good.
Oh, my God.
She's like, what, 52, 53?
She's got to
40
be at least
his
that.
age.
Yeah.
40.
No, she's older than me. I grew up watching her as an older person. She's older than me.
Is she?
Yes.
I don't think she is. Are you sure? I
Google
think she's
that shit right
Where's
now.
that guy
I
at?
will Google. He's at work.
Oh, damn it. Well, then how are we supposed to get our stats?
Tiffany Thiessen. Do you want to share your age, sir?
I'm 40.
You are 40, so that makes her about 40-something.
Damn, I really thought it would have been
44.
older. No,
I knew
way
she was
off.
older than me. Yeah.
That's not my... Like, ex-wife, you guys are closer in age than me and ex-wife.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, true. Me and girlfriend, though, are
That
closer
worked
in
out
age.
for you. Maybe I could get that to work out for me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think my ex-wife is older than your girlfriend.
Older than my girlfriend?
Yes.
I think
I'm positive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
My girlfriend's 35.
And my ex-wife's 36.
Yeah.
And you and I are 9 years apart
Yeah.
in age. So, whatever. You went younger, I went older.
Yeah. Does anybody need my social security number, credit card number, the PIN?
Well, we don't share names. Like, he has hot friend. You have
Yep.
girlfriend. Stat guy has stat guy's girlfriend. I have ex-wife
Brandon has
and
wife.
girlfriend, and Brandon has wife. That's it. That's
Yeah.
what we have here.
Okay.
So that's how that works. We don't share anything else. If we do, we cut it off. We've done that a few times. Where we've
I've definitely done that
screwed
a few
up,
times.
so we just hit stop and we move on. So one thing I put in here that you guys didn't see is, have you guys seen Deion Sanders' kids?
I have. One, I don't know if you've seen their names.
Yeah.
One's like Dion Jr. and then Deondra. It's all
That's
Dion
the daughter.
stuff.
And then, Shiloh is the senior. He's a senior in high school. He's a 3-star rated cornerback at Trinity Christian School in
Just
Cedar Hill.
Corner, right?
Corner,
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
And he's 6'1", 185. He's got offers from Georgia, Nebraska, Oregon, Oregon State, Rutgers, Syracuse, SMU, Central Florida, Louisiana Tech, New Mexico State, and Chattanooga. However,
Rutgers.
his younger son, Shedeur Sanders, he's a sophomore right
Spell
now.
that for me.
Shodeur, maybe.
Okay.
So he's a sophomore this year, also 6'1", 185. He is a pocket passer. He does not run. He's a quarterback. He's started since freshman year. He is 25-1.
And
25-1.
any verbal commitments?
Oh yeah. This is who he has offers from as a sophomore: Florida State, Baylor, Georgia, Houston, Louisville, LSU, Oregon, Syracuse, UTEP, and the one that his dad will never let him go to, Florida. As a sophomore, he has offers from all of them.
It's impressive.
Why hasn't Ohio State offered him? Because we like pocket passers now. That's our thing
And
right now.
He doesn't run. Look, when I heard that
Right now with Meyer. Haskins, I think, is going to be gone now with Day here. I think Martell.
did you see where they're thinking Haskins might go in the draft?
No.
Number 10 to the Giants.
No, he won't drop that far. I can't see it.
Well,
I was really kind of hoping we'd get him one more year. I mean, shit, he's only been starting a year.
I hope so, too.
Because we have Tate Martell would likely be the starter, but there's also that other kid that was Ryan Day's hand-picked quarterback.
Well,
Yeah.
Tate Martell was also.
Did you guys
That
watch
wasn't Ryan Day's
QB1?
first one.
He wasn't his first, but Tate Martell was. He's the
one.
guy. Yeah,
But this other kid is like Ryan Day's guy.
Did you guys watch QB1 on Netflix by any chance?
I have not.
It's worth your time. Do you know anything about it?
No.
So they followed 10 high school quarterbacks during their senior season. They followed Jake Fromm from Georgia. Tate Martell, who's out at Bishop Gorman in Vegas, the powerhouse. And then, God, I can't think of his name right now. He's the kid who quarterbacked for Wake Forest.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, not off the top of my head.
Anyways, follows them through their senior seasons. You learn a lot about what these kids put themselves through in terms of the grind, in terms of social media, everything that's coming at them in high school. And then now it's fun to watch them play in college because you kind of feel a connection to them. It's 10 episodes. It goes back and forth between the three of them. Really, really worth your time. I think each episode's like 25 minutes.
Okay,
So you could blow through 10 episodes in a weekend, no problem.
It's not bad at all.
No.
Saturday night.
Matthew Baldwin was the other
Matthew
kid.
Baldwin. And also, I don't remember where I saw this, and maybe I dreamt it, but I also heard that Joe Burrow could come back and play if Haskins left. I saw that somewhere.
He was just at the Ohio State University. Like, all the guys were in the locker room, and he showed up, said hello, what's up, and, they always basically said he's a Buckeye for life.
Yeah.
He can come anytime. So back to this kid, I just couldn't believe that he's a sophomore. He's 25-1 as a starting quarterback, which is insane, in Texas. And he is a 4 or 5 star prospect already, but he's got offers from all these places. And he's not a runner. His dad, I was watching this thing with Dion, he said he's not a runner. He's good at pocket passing. He's a good passer, and he is. And he's got a 3.9 GPA, so he's a smart kid too.
What Tate Martell, 4-year starter, Bishop Gorman, 4-year starter, never lost a game.
Shit.
Never lost a game
I
in
did
high
not know
school
that.
the entire time.
Never
It's
knew that.
insane. And those guys get on planes to play other schools. I mean, that's the elite level that he played at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he wasn't playing like, the Sisters of the Poor. He was playing
Oh, you're
big
talking about
teams.
Alabama's schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cupcake,
Well,
Georgia.
they probably were playing the Citadel.
Oh, gosh. They probably were. And, it would be interesting to see. I think that is Tate's job to lose if Dwayne leaves. And I wouldn't hand it to Tate yet. I mean, you would think that he's going to get it, but with Baldwin being a Ryan Day guy, he would give him competition, but I think it's Tate's.
My problem with Tate right now is the way they utilize him. They
it's
put
bad.
him in for that wildcat, and he's getting the ball. I mean, every time. Put him in for a series and let him actually play like Haskins plays.
But I think
And
that's
he
what
did.
Urban
You
did.
saw him. He went
Right.
11 for 11 or
Right.
12 for whatever the hell it was
But
when
when
he actually
Urban
could
came
throw.
back is when that kind of went and faltered away.
Yeah.
Back to the wildcat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And now Ryan Day's the coach, so I think if Dwayne leaves, which right now he should, because he could get higher next year and win a Heisman. I don't think Ohio State's going to have that bad a defense next year as they did this year. So I don't think Dwayne's stats would be padded as much.
And Bosa's gone, obviously.
Right.
Draymond announced today he's leaving. So
Did
Draymond
he?
Jones he said he's going to play in the Rose Bowl, but he's gone. He's going to the NFL, which makes sense. I mean, he came back. He didn't have to come back last year. He had a good year last year. He came back to try to win a title.
Chase Young's probably gone.
You see who else is not playing in a bowl game this year? Will Greer not playing.
Yeah, I saw that.
You
And
saw that?
we'll get there when we get down to West Virginia.
Yep.
I did see that. But so far, I haven't heard. Haskins said he is playing.
He is playing, so
No matter
he'll
what.
probably decide after that. And they said Bosa's going to go number 1 in the draft. I mean, he's the best player out there. And did you see who they had as number 2?
Who's going to take him? Who's going to be number 1?
Arizona.
Well,
Right now.
there's so many teams. Like
Like
the Jets
Arizona,
are there.
The Jets are there. Yeah, Oakland.
There's
That
there's
puts
4
him close
teams that are right
to
there.
Big Brother if he's out in Arizona. I mean, he's a car ride away instead of a plane.
But he won't end up with brother because he's
No.
the Chargers have a chance to win the division right now against
Yes.
the Chiefs. They play tomorrow night.
and
so.
no one's going to their games.
Right.
They have the shittiest
It
attendance.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, maybe outside of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is like giving tickets away right now.
Right.
But yeah, nobody's going to Chargers games.
No, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. But the other person they said is like top 2 pick is Rashawn Gary from Michigan. Doesn't surprise me.
Is he going to play in the bowl game?
I don't know.
Because I know he's been injured, so it would not shock me if he doesn't play.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to. There's nothing to play for. If it was the playoffs, it'd be different. But you're playing Florida. And
Playoffs?
Playoffs. When you're playing Florida, it means nothing. So we can get into you've got the picks pulled up. And
Well, let's start first. Obviously, we're going to get into our bowl picks right now.
Right.
But as we did for NFL, we want to get our listeners involved. We're going to give away OTL swag. I'll let you. Are you?
Yeah. We're gonna do the same thing to NFL. NFL hasn't ended yet, and we'll get into what happened there this past week. But we are, if anybody beats us in the Pigskin Pick'em in NFL, we are going to give them some swag, and we're going to do the same thing for the bowl game. So,
Yeah.
or for the bowl, what is it called? It's called Capital One Bowl Mania.
And I'll go into it right now. It's Capital One Bowl Mania on ESPN, the same exact place in the fantasy section that you're gonna, right by the NFL Pick'em, same exact drop down bar. Capital One Bowl Mania. The group is open. I put limit 2 entries on there. The last one, I think we did no limit, so I don't want to do that. I just want to have 2 entries on there.
I like that.
If you want, put in 2 entries. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I put in whatever name you want. Obviously, if you do win, reach out to us. Let us know. It is Over the Line Sports Pod. That is the group. It is open. It is public. There's no password. You can get right in. So please join if you're listening in. We want you to beat us. We want to give away our swag. I know it's fun to win all the time, but we do want to give some of our stuff out. So come on in, put in a couple entries, let us join. ESPN, Fantasy tab, drop down, Capital One Bowl Mania, the group Over the Line Sports Pod.
Yes, and we have. So I didn't tell you this yet, Ryan, but we have. So we now have 4 guys on the show. You've got Bear, myself, Brandon, and Jake, and we have their picks already since they couldn't make it for the straight up. We're not going to do straight up first. We're going to do the actual lines, and but when we get to straight up, if we are 2-2, you are the deciding vote on which way we go as a podcast. So if it is 2-2 anyway, which way through here, that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we do is, you can see we've got our boards around here. So that college football, the green is me, the blue is Bear, and the red is Brandon. So currently this is picking the lines, not straight up. In college football, we play the line. So I am 70, 79, and 4. And we only had 1 game this past week, and it was a tie. Bear is still at 69. We said a tie would happen. So that worked out for you.
I hope I lose the rest of the games.
69, 80, and 4, and Brandon is 79, 70, and 4. And so close, and we're playing, and what we're going to do is each week, so this week I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 bowl games that are going to happen before our next show. So we are picking the line on these 9 games, and then next week we'll do the same for however many games there are that week. We'll play the line. But today, after that, we're picking every bowl game straight up because we're going to have that done and out of the way so we can do the Capital One Bowl Mania. But this week we're going to play the lines. Hopefully we can't catch Brandon unless he goes 0-9 and we go 9-0, or I can't. That's the only chance I get, but I guarantee we're going to agree. So we'll get right into it. We got North Carolina A&T versus Alcorn State. We didn't have this on the list, so I apologize. And Alcorn State is given 7.5. So they start out the game 7.5 to 0. So if you're playing the lines, have you played bet lines before?
Yeah.
So you're aware of how this works. So we can get right into Brandon. Brandon took Alcorn State.
Yep. And he didn't give us a score on this like he did the others. Like I said, we kind of posted that one up quick. 7.5. Normally when I watch these, I like to see where it's at because a lot of these bowl games are around where these schools are, and it's easier for their fans to travel there. 7.5. I've talked about all year. I hate that number. If it was 6.5, I'd be all over North Carolina A&T. 7.5 is a bitch of a number. I'm gonna take Alcorn State. I bet you they lose by 7.
It's a good pick. What about you, Ryan?
I like that logic, so I'll stick with that as well. It makes sense.
No, I agree. So Alcorn State, we're going to take across the board in the 7.5 points. I think 7.5 is a tough one, like Ryan said, and that Barrett had agreed as well. That 7.5, all you got to do is lose by 7, and we win. So I mean, 7.5, there's not going to be a tie here. We know that because there's a half a point, but that's how that works. Next game, we got North Texas versus Utah State. Utah State 9-point favorite.
Brandon had Utah State 30-20, so he has them outright winning and covering here. And I'm going to agree with him. I think Utah State should handle North Texas easily. They gave Michigan State a run. Was that them early in the year? First game. Yeah, they gave Michigan State a run. Probably should have beaten them. Blew it at the end. I think they finished like 8-4 or something like that. Give me Utah State.
I think Utah State by 2 scores.
And I'm going to go the other way here. And here's why. I've talked to Glenn. When we go do shows, we work for this guy, Glenn. Glenn played at North Texas. I don't know if you knew this. Glenn knows North Texas like the back of his hand. He thinks they're going to lose, but he thinks they're within 9. I'm going to trust his logic since he played for North Texas. Give me North Texas in the 9.
The Mean Green going to get it. They are the Mean Green, right?
They are the Mean Green.
I think so.
With a score, give me 42-35. So
okay.
7
High
points.
Scoring.
Yeah, so if it's 7 or 10 point, I mean, if it's 10, I lose, but by a point. It's the bad beat that we talk about all the time. Next one, we have Tulane versus Louisiana. Louisiana is this Louisiana?
Is this Louisiana Lafayette?
I think it is Louisiana. No, it is Louisiana. It's Louisiana.
Just Louisiana?
The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, I think that's Louisiana Lafayette.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Are they playing? Are they playing in the What is it? Oh, it's the Mercedes-Benz Dome now, right? It used to be the Superdome. Mercedes-Benz Dome now, I think, because I feel like they play there every year.
This keeps saying Louisiana. I'm wondering.
Let's look it up. Let's make it easy.
Well, you go ahead and keep talking.
I sure can. If it is the Raging Cajuns, and it is in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, +3 is very generous. I have no idea
That's just
about
Louisiana.
Tulane.
Louisiana Raging Cajuns. I think we have Louisiana Lafayette later.
No, look
Is it down
right there next
oh,
to Ole
LA
Miss.
Lafayette.
There you
win.
go.
You got
See,
it.
I know it is.
Oh, damn, you're right.
I know. Sometimes I am. And I don't like being right all the time. And I also don't like agreeing with Brandon. And we're both going to take the Raging Cajuns here. Outright also. They are +3. Brandon has them winning 34-27. I'd say I'd take them probably 31-28. But I do think they win this game outright.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll take Tulane.
And so you're going to take them more than 3?
More than 3.
All right. I am also taking the upset win for Louisiana Lafayette. So it'll be interesting to see if it happens since we 3 are thinking they will win. Should be, and you're thinking Tulane covers. Tulane's
going to cover.
You think so?
Yeah.
They got their asses handed to them by Ohio State. Great ass Ohio State.
Everybody gets their ass handed to them by Ohio State.
Except Purdue.
Yeah.
All right, next we got Arizona State versus Fresno State, 4.5.
All right, so I'm sorry, I just had to look it up. The Raging Cajuns play in Orlando, Florida, so it worries me a little bit, but I'm sticking to my pick there. And the next game you said, sorry, was Fresno State, Arizona State,
the
right?
Raging Cajuns play in Orlando.
That's where they're playing the bowl game.
Oh, that's where the bowl game is.
Not,
Okay.
It is not in New Orleans.
Oh, gotcha.
Brandon has Fresno State 37-21 outright. Big win for them. They're -4.5. That's a tough one for me, but they've played really good football all year. I think their 2 losses are to Boise twice, maybe. I think that Fresno State should beat them handily. Herm Edwards, man, he scares me. I think he has his team ready to play, but give me Fresno State outright by 7.
I'm taking Arizona State. I think they're going to cover the spread.
I also have Arizona State. I think they cover the spread. Eastern Michigan versus Georgia Southern. 1-point favorite for Georgia Southern.
Sorry, I was looking at something else. Brandon has Georgia Southern winning 24-21, so he is taking them. I know Ryan was talking about how the MAC was going to do well, and I'm going to agree with him here. I think Eastern Michigan wins this game outright. They played pretty well this year in the MAC, actually. I think they beat up on Toledo as well.
They did.
Anyone that beats up on Toledo, I'm going to take. So give me Eastern Michigan outright to upset Georgia Southern.
Toledo's had kind of an off year, like a weird year for them, but still played competitively. Struggled with Eastern Michigan. I don't know enough about Georgia Southern to really care. They're not even really on my radar. 1 point is 1 point. That's nothing. So I would say Eastern Michigan over Georgia Southern.
And I've got Eastern Michigan as well on the point, with the 1 point. So they got to win. Or lose by 1, and it's a wash.
There you go.
All right, next game we have Appalachian State against Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State +7.
Yeah, Brandon has Appalachian State winning 41-27, so put him down for App State. I am also going to take App State as well. They're a really good football team. There's no way they lose this game, and 7, it seems kind of a low number. They're playing in the New Orleans Bowl, so they'll be in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, but Appalachian State probably by 2 touchdowns.
App State knows how to win big games. They do it every year. My only concern, and I have them winning, but my only concern is their head coach was just hired by Louisville. So
Exactly, and that's what I have there too. He left for the Louisville job, and the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State are 6-0 against the spread in the second half of the season, and this is a send-off game for their quarterback, and they're 3-0 all time in bowl games. So give me them. I don't know if they win, but 7's a big number. I'll take them in the 7, Middle Tennessee State. Next,
that'll be a fun push.
Yeah, probably. Next, UAB against Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois,
2 points.
2-point dog. Brandon is taking UAB 30-17. I'm going to agree with him. I think UAB does beat Northern Illinois. This will not be a MAC win. UAB is 10-3 this year, and they're playing in the Boca Raton Bowl, which I think is somewhere in Florida. So
Did you see what I put your pick as? Brandon's pick is Brandon.
That's a good pick. He picked Brandon. Good for him. Yeah, so give me UAB. Should beat them by 7 at least.
Boca is in eastern Florida. I've been there. It's full of old people. UAB, 2 is easy. UAB.
Yeah, I've got UAB as well. I think they cover this pretty easily. And their last game, didn't they have to come? Well, they lost a week before, like 24-3, and then they get to the conference title game and hand it to them. So UAB looking pretty good. Give me them as well. So across the board. Next one, Ohio versus San Diego State, and San Diego State is a 3-point dog, so they start out 3-0.
I was surprised to see that they're a 3-point dog. This game's playing in Frisco, Texas. I don't know Ohio's bowl record over the last X amount of years, but I feel like they win a lot. 3, I bet they push this game. I think they win by 3. I'm picking Ohio. Brandon picked Ohio to win 33-28, so he's taking them outright. Give me Ohio by 4. I like that 31-27, just barely covering.
I like Ohio as well. I want to go for MAC schools when I can, and I feel pretty comfortable with that one.
And I am going Ohio as well. So as we get into the next part of our stuff, we have the picks, the bowl games. So
you're not doing Marshall versus...
What do we have? They don't play till they play Thursday.
They play Thursday. It was
so we'll
here.
cover it next week. I know. Okay. I had that there. I meant to because I didn't put it here because I realized they played Thursday. So we'll cover that. Right. We'll cover that next week. But thank you for stating that. Next, we're going to do the bowl games. So there's 41 bowl games, including the national championship in there. We've got a long way to go on this one. So, Bear, I'm going to let you read the games and who Jake took and who Brandon took, and then we are going to see what happens. So you go, I go, and then just because I want him to be the deciding factor if it happens, let's let him go.
So are you writing or am I writing?
This is going to be you.
Okay, so I'm going to write and read and do what else?
No, I'm going to read this.
Do you want me to juggle anything while I'm doing
Usually
that too?
It's me typing and reading, but I'm going to read, so we're good. And I will let you do the typing. So we've got first bowl game is North Carolina A&T versus Alcorn State. And we already covered this on the line. Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. Brandon and Jake both took Alcorn State, isn't that Steve Air McNair? Where he went to college?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm still not taking him. So give me North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, I picked, Alcorn State to cover 7.5, but I don't think they're winning this game. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, give me North Carolina A&T as well.
You're going to put them in. So, look at that. Game 1, you were already the deciding factor for the podcast. So, whoever you take is who we take as a podcast in Capital One Bowl Mania.
Oh, my God.
Already, game number 1.
Who did Brandon take? He took
Alcorn State. They're a 7.5-point dog, and we're taking the favorite in this one. I think we both took Alcorn State to cover.
I'll go with that.
Which one? Who's winning?
NC.
NC? Good. All right, we're off to a good start. Sorry, Brandon and Stat Guy. No one cares about you. North Texas versus Utah State. For me, Utah State. I think I put in there North Texas covers the 9, but I think Utah State's winning.
Utah State wins this game.
Utah.
All right. I like the Utes or the Utah State, whatever they are. What are they? Uggies?
They're not the Utes. Utah State is something else.
I know. That's why I said the Utes, because you said Utah. And that's the New Mexico Bowl. The next one we got, Louisiana Lafayette, thank you, against Tulane in the AutoNation Cure Bowl. I think Jake has Tulane. Brandon has Louisiana Lafayette. I also have Louisiana Lafayette.
I'm also going Louisiana Lafayette.
And I think you took Tulane in the points, right?
Took them in the points, but you can have Louisiana to win.
Okay.
To win it outright.
So Stat Guy, he must see something that we don't. I hope that's wrong because we want to win. Well, you said we want to give away swag. I don't want to give anything away. Next, Fresno State against Arizona State in the Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl.
Jeez, Brandon, besides the first one, they keep
Fresno State for Brandon and Arizona State for Jake.
And Fresno State for Bear.
And Fresno State for Bear. And I'm pretty sure I took Arizona. It was 4.5, Arizona State. Yeah, I'll take them in the points, but I want Fresno for the win.
Got it.
Sorry, Jake. You're down again.
Podcast gets Fresno State.
And Ryan?
I was taking Arizona State to win that outright.
So you got Arizona State. There we go. Next, Georgia Southern, Eastern Michigan. Brandon took Georgia Southern. The 3 of us all took Eastern Michigan. Ryan, you took?
Eastern Michigan.
So that was an easy one, and that is going to be the Raycom Media is it the Carmelia Bowl?
I don't know.
God, that's awful.
That is terrible. Next, Appalachian State versus Middle Tennessee State in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl.
Yep, App State, easy.
App State. We said that, right?
Yeah, App State as well. I took Middle Tennessee in the points. And they're 6-0 or 3-0 bowl games. I don't think they're winning this one, but I've been surprised otherwise. Next, UAB versus Northern Illinois, and it was 2 points for Northern Illinois. Jake has Northern Illinois, UAB for Brandon, UAB for Baird,
Yep.
UAB for me,
UAB.
UAB. There we go. And that is the Cheribundi Bowl. Next, we got the DXL Frisco Bowl, and we have San Diego State versus Ohio.
Yeah.
Brandon with San Diego State. Jake with San Diego State.
I have Ohio.
You have Ohio.
You got to pick before Shiv for tiebreaker. So what do you?
Hold
If you take.
Oh, I took Ohio. Give me Ohio. So you are the
Ohio for your tiebreaker.
yeah. So there we go. He's with us again. So we'll take it. All right. And next one we got Marshall versus South Florida in the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. And we've got Marshall for Brandon and Marshall for Jake.
I feel like South Florida has played very well this year, right?
You're correct.
I don't know about Marshall, but I'm going to take South Florida here.
I am too. So back to you again, sir, for the tiebreaker, Marshall or South Florida.
Picking Marshall.
Okay. He went against
Sorry.
us. That's all right.
That's okay.
That's why you're the tiebreaker. But you've been three of the what do we got? 9 games? You've already or 3 of the 8 games. You've been the tiebreaker already. All right. So next game we got the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl, Toledo and what is it? Florida
International,
right? Yeah, FIU.
I don't go against my alma mater of 1 year before I dropped out. Go Rockets.
That's my actual alma mater. Go Rockets.
I've got 2 degrees from that place, so you know where I'm going.
The Rockets. There we go. All right, next we got BYU versus Western Michigan in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. BYU for both Brandon and Jake. Also give me BYU.
I'd love to take Western Michigan here. I think they're a very competitive football team that can play, but BYU's playing pretty much at home, so BYU.
Yep. I know you said the MAC was playing well. You going on the other side? Are you taking BYU?
No, I'm going with BYU. Western Michigan hasn't been the same since PJ left, so.
This is true.
Row the boat.
All right, next one we got Memphis and Wake Forest in the Jared Birmingham. Could be a person, could be Jared the Jeweler in the Birmingham Bowl.
Hopefully it's not the Subway
Birmingham,
guy.
Alabama. And we've got Memphis for Brandon, Wake Forest for Jake.
I am taking Memphis. I think better offense beats better defense here.
You know, that's a pretty good one. I can agree, and I will also take Memphis. So thank you for that.
You saw what Notre Dame's blah offense did to Wake Forest. They put up points on them. Memphis is going to put up some big points on Wake Forest.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, gosh. Such a tough one, though.
Sure. Good.
No, I'm good because they have Memphis had the running back.
I already locked it in.
Yeah, Darrell Henderson. He was the all-purpose yardage leader this year. So give me Wake Forest. No, Memphis.
Gee, what are you picking?
Memphis. They had
Christ.
the all-purpose leader in yardage.
I don't know what the hell you're saying. Shiv, what do you got? Memphis or
I had
Wake Forest?
Memphis.
Make this easy. No one agrees with Jake. Army versus Houston in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl.
Ooh, this is going to test it right here. Just start sweating on some of these.
Houston for both of those guys.
They did both take Houston. Army obviously has played great football all year. Against Navy is always a close game. Houston has no defense that I know of, so give me Army.
Yeah, and Army's the favorite here. Give me Army. You
They
can
both
play
picked Houston?
Yeah.
I'm going to tiebreaker again. I picked Army.
There we go.
like it.
I like it. So you're 3-1 with us, which we'll take. All right, next one. We've got Buffalo versus Troy in the Dollar General Bowl that everybody wants to get invited to.
I can't wait to go to Dollar General for this bowl. Give me Buffalo here. I think after that heartbreaking loss in the MAC title game, they should bounce back, and beat Troy here.
I'm going to take Troy. So we've got 2-2 again. You're the tiebreaker.
I'm taking Troy, and here's why. It's Buffalo. It's not Syracuse.
This is true.
It's like if you can't afford to go to the Syracuse game on a Saturday, maybe you go down the road to Buffalo.
And Troy, and ironically, Troy has more experience in bowl games than Buffalo.
Yeah.
So this will put them when their coach at 3-0. So I think Troy here.
And again, I feel bad because, MAC schools, but still.
Right. All right, we got Hawaii versus Louisiana Tech in the SoFi Hawaii Bowl. So
Hawaii at home. Give me Hawaii.
Hawaii. He's got Hawaii. Brandon and Jake got Hawaii.
At 5 for Hawaii.
5 for Hawaii.
That's a home game. I mean, Jesus.
Aren't they always in the Hawaii Bowl? I feel like they are.
Yeah, makes sense. They
Like
don't want to travel them out. They're
Warriors.
cheap.
Right.
BC versus Boise State in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl.
Oh, so I'm going to look where this thing's at. I want to see this.
Boise and Boston College?
Yeah.
Well, while you're looking for that, we've got...
Okay, so it's at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
Yeah, so you've got Boise for those two. Give me Boise.
I'm also taking Boise here.
5 for 5, Smurf Turf, Boise State.
Smurf turf. I like that. Next, we've got Minnesota, Georgia Tech in the Quick Lane Bowl.
Minnesota came on at the end of the year, and looks like Brandon took Georgia Tech. Stat guy took Minnesota. Oh, man, that's tough. Georgia Tech runs they're a wing T offense, right? I remember that fairly well from 4 years of high school. Minnesota plays in a Big Ten that can stop the run, so I'm going to take the Golden Gophers here.
I want to take them, but I can't. Give me Georgia Tech.
I feel the same way. I like their coach. I know how hard. You know how hard it is to recruit for Minnesota.
Right.
They have the best facilities in the Big Ten, and they still can't get anybody to play up there because it's fucking Minnesota. It's cold. 10 months a year, it's cold. So I want to root for them. I think it's too little, too late. I think Georgia Tech's gonna win by 1 score.
Yep, I like it. So you have been the tiebreaker several times already.
Really?
6. I think that's the 6th time.
Was that a tie on that one with the
Yeah.
other guys?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, because I think that's the 6th time that you have had to play
Well,
tiebreaker.
shit, Brandon and Stat Guy keep disagreeing with each other, so that's easy to play.
Yeah,
Man,
it starts. And this one, they disagreed again. TCU versus Cal in the Cheez-It Bowl, which we found out is played in Arizona.
Because when I think cheeses, I think Phoenix.
They're baking in the sun.
Right.
Yeah.
Baked Cheez-Its. So we've got Cal for Brandon and TCU for Jake. Bear?
I liked Cal all year. They're a good squad. I'm going to take Cal over TCU.
And I'm going to go the other way and take TCU. So we've got another tiebreaker
TCU.
again. There we go. Take TCU. That's fine. So 7 of the, almost half the games you've had to play tiebreaker already. I'm glad you're here because flipping a coin would have sucked. The next game, this should be a little easier. Temple and Duke in the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Jeez.
I would imagine there's probably a lot of walk-ons playing in this at both of these schools.
You know, and they both took Duke in an upset. I give them credit.
No.
That's an upset. For Temple, Temple's a 3-point favorite in this one.
Ooh. That's tough, man.
No, it's not.
It is. Duke's not a bad football team.
Duke lost their last 2 games by a combined score of 94-13.
Who'd they play?
Probably good schools.
Okay, there you go.
I'm going to look at that before you make this pick.
Okay, fine. I know they're playing in Shreveport, Louisiana, which has nothing to do with either school, so Duke's closer. That's about all I got there.
So we need Duke's football schedule.
Yeah,
So I
look,
can tell you who they play.
I do. I want to know.
Duke's not that much closer. I mean, they're further south, but they're also further east.
So,
True.
Clemson, 35-6 they lost. And then they lost to Wake Forest 59-7.
Ooh,
oh, God.
wow.
In
Yeah,
the last game.
See, that Wake Forest score tells you everything you need to know.
Give me
Temple.
Temple.
Temple. It's Temple.
So these two finally agree.
I mean, of course they got the shit kicked out of them by Clemson.
So we
right?
started, right. And it wasn't even that bad, 35-6. They got beat at home by Wake Forest 59-7. So they, oh my gosh,
Oh my! I'm just looking. Brandon took Miami against Wisconsin up north.
Okay.
What is he thinking?
So the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, we've got Miami, Wisconsin.
Like I said, 9-6 Wisconsin, the most boring bowl game. Right, this will be the most boring bowl game of bowl game year. Wisconsin wins by 3.
I'm taking Miami.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't want to take them up north, but it's gonna be close. It's only a 4-point game, and here's the thing: I think Wisconsin actually covers that, but Miami wins by 3. Is what I got. So tiebreaker again, sir.
I hate Miami, but I'm going with Miami. Wisconsin has been a giant disappointment this season.
They really have.
Some people picked them early front runners preseason to win the national championship, and they just have been a letdown. I don't look for things to improve with them. I think they've been pretty mediocre at best all year, and I think Miami's the better team.
But hold on, I'm going to break here. Remember when the Cavs were up 18?
Oh my gosh.
They're up by
Hey,
2.
what's the score? What do they got?
69. Oh, Still 69. God, they suck.
Yeah.
Can I not play defense or what?
No.
No, I just saw it right there. Yep,
The
that's
NBA
everything. Now it's 69-69.
Your
NBA
favorite.
stands
Turn it
for
off.
No basketball allowed.
Right. And so here's the other thing here. They had, which we talked at the beginning of the year, and you guys gave me shit for forgetting their running back's name and forgetting the running back to put in my top 3 in the Big Ten.
Jonathan Taylor.
And he wasn't
Thomas.
in the top 3. JTT. Yes, the black version. No, he was not, and he wasn't up there. And just like we thought, we said Dwayne. He was in all of our top 3, which we said he would be. I think we all have I think some of us had McSorley, but
Yeah, I don't remember. We should have brought that back up with our Heisman picks. 'Cause
Right.
I don't remember what those are.
I got to see who we said was going to win the Heisman. We'll have to go back and listen to that.
We should have wrote that down on our boards.
Yeah, we didn't. Oh, well. All right, next game. Vanderbilt and Baylor. Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl.
Okay,
Both
so
of those guys have Vandy,
my guesses are playing in Texas,
I would hope.
which means it would be close with Baylor. But after the whole Baylor incident 2 years ago or whatever, they should have gotten the death penalty and didn't. I want to see them lose as much as I can. So, give me Vandy.
I also have Vandy.
Vandy.
Next, we've got Auburn and Purdue in the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Man.
crap!
We got Purdue for Brandon and Auburn for Jake.
Where's this at? Nashville? They are playing in Nashville. It has nothing to do with anything. God. I want to pick Purdue just because they whooped the shit out of Ohio State, but I know, I don't know, man. This is going to be a weird game. Auburn hasn't played great.
What did your gut first tell you?
Auburn,
Okay.
but I want to pick Purdue, but
I'm taking Auburn, so let's make that easy for you. It'd be 2-1 Auburn. If you take Purdue, we got another tiebreaker and let him decide.
yeah. Ryan looks really tired from picking all these, so give me Auburn.
All right, so that'll be easy.
I had Auburn as well.
So it would have been Auburn regardless.
Right.
I like it. All right, West Virginia and Syracuse in the Camping World. Hey, a NASCAR sponsor in the Camping World Bowl. So we have Syracuse for Jake and West Virginia for Brandon.
Yeah, no Will Greer. I don't know who West Virginia's backup quarterback is. I think he played maybe once this year when Greer was hurt
Exactly.
or suspended or hurt. And once again, this one goes the opposite way. I think that this Syracuse defense can hold West Virginia a little bit. The Big 12, I think, is going to get shown up this year in bowl games. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Syracuse.
I also have Syracuse. This game started as a 7.5-point line. It's down to 1.5, and Greer's not playing. Give me Syracuse. The over/under 74.5. I think they're going over. I think that's one that still goes over even without Will Greer. So, Ryan,
I like Dino Babers, so Syracuse.
there you go. All right, next Iowa State versus Washington State, and that is interesting. They both took Washington State.
Yeah, I don't like that. I just got done talking mad shit about the Big 12, but I'm going to take a Big 12 school here because I think Washington State is extremely overrated. I really do. Sorry. I think they have been all year, and they've got really fucking lucky.
So, sorry for these guys. They started off against us 2-0. I think we're all going to end up taking Iowa State. Matt Campbell all the way. So, Iowa State for me. Ryan?
See, it's tough. I was on the fence on this one. I like Matt Campbell a lot. He's a UT guy. But I originally went with Washington State. However, I don't want to go against Matt.
There we go.
By the way, on Twitter, his old players have a Twitter account called It's Your Boy Matt Campbell, and it's great.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
All right. So, for the podcast, we'll go through at the end what we got. But are you putting those in at the same time on ESPN?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'll do that later.
Afterwards. All right. So next out, and that was the Valero Alamo Bowl, by the way. Next bowl game is the Belk Bowl. What the hell is Belk?
It rhymes with
Is that a
milk.
phone? Is that phone?
That's Belkin.
Oh yeah, that's Belk.
You're close, though.
Whatever. What the hell is Belk?
It's probably like some sort of farm thing, like corn seed or something. It's probably soybeans.
Well, we got South Carolina and Virginia, and these guys both took Virginia. Interesting.
If Belk can own a bowl game, I think your podcast and my podcast can get together and sponsor a bowl game.
I think we could.
I mean,
What would it be called?
what did Belk need? Like $7 to sponsor whatever this piece of shit bowl is?
Right. What? So we're over the line, and they're the grown-ups.
Over the line grown-ups?
Over the grown-ups. The over the grown-ups bowl game. Bowl. sponsored by Over the Line Sports Podcast and the Grown Ups Podcast.
Yeah.
We can do that.
This year we'll have Heidelberg
I'll donate $10.
and Mount Union.
I'll put $10 to that.
Give me a
Mount Union all day. They win shit. Heidelberg sucks. Heidelberg, I think, might be 0-10 this year. 0-12.
You know who played at Heidelberg?
One of my best friends played at Heidelberg.
Well, you know who else played there?
Who?
Brandon.
Did he?
Yes. Yeah.
He had
Playing
three
for
sacks.
Heidelberg. Playing for Heidelberg, and I don't want to be.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Please do it.
Go ahead.
Playing for Heidelberg is kind of like being the cart boy or the bagger at Kroger's. There's no real requirement to get on. All you need is a pulse and a willingness. That's it. It's just like, hey, are you breathing? Yeah, come on. We'll take you.
Who played there?
Adam.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he really?
And he wrestled there too.
No. Well,
Yeah.
that's a little different. And is he the wrestling coach?
One of them, yeah.
So I just looked up Belk, by the way. It's a clothing company.
Interesting. I own
was
nothing
way
but
off.
Belk. Just throwing that out there.
Who'd you take, South Carolina or Virginia?
I think I'm going to agree with these guys and take Virginia. I really am. Sorry. And that's who the podcast is taking.
That's okay. I'm going to take South Carolina, even though you guys took Virginia.
I'd back you all day. I like
Yeah.
South Carolina in that game.
Yep. All right, next game we have Nevada versus Arkansas State in the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. I guess this is being played in Hawaii.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got me for a second there.
Sorry, buddy.
I know nothing about Nevada or Arkansas State. I'm going to just look up their records really quick just for shits and gigs. Arkansas State 8-4, Nevada 7-5. I feel like that's what their records probably are every year.
It's a wash.
Yeah, give me Nevada then. Screw it.
And I will also take Nevada.
What did the other boys have?
Nevada. So far, it's 4 Nevadas.
I had Arkansas State.
All right, I like it.
I'm going to be putting my own shit in against you, and I hope I get some OTL swag.
Yeah, you will. I was on the show and helped decide all the votes. Yeah, you're going to beat us with the tiebreakers.
I will beat you with my Arkansas State pick.
Yes,
be
that's
it.
once it comes down to that. All right, next bowl game we have Cincinnati versus Va-Tech Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman.
By who?
Right.
Shit.
Northrop Grumman. Interesting.
Oh, man.
Cincinnati's a big favorite here, by the way.
I know, and I kind of want to take them, but, man, Virginia Tech seems like they always win their bowl game. I don't know why. I see Dan took Virginia Tech all the way over there. He's the only one so far. Mm-hmm. 2 Cincinnati's with Brandon and Stat Guy. Fickle, man, he's an Ohio State dude. Give me Cincinnati. Closer, though. Close.
Oh, God. So, Va-Tech at the end of the year started to get better with Ryan Willis, but Cincinnati played tough all year. The only UCF is what got them this year. And, man, I'm going to take Cincinnati still, just because of Luke Fickle. He turned him around. Give me them.
Okay. So, podcast, Cincinnati.
Ryan?
I also had Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, that's easy.
I'm a Luke Fickle guy, except the season after Tressel when he was interim head coach and we lost to Michigan.
Yeah, and
I can't blame him for that, but I still kind of want to blame him for that.
only time I've ever seen a losing record out of Ohio State in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Went 6-7, lost to Florida in the bowl game.
Yeah.
And this one that has close ties to me, Redbox Bowl, Michigan State and Oregon.
Do we know if Oregon's quarterback is going to play?
Uh,
I don't know if anything's out on that yet, to be honest with you.
Justin Herbert, it looks like it because the line bumped up in their favor to 2.5.
And maybe that's why, because I know he wants to go to the draft, so that's why I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm going to take Oregon. Sorry, Sparty has just not been great this year, so I'm going to take the Ducks.
They haven't, but the only good thing here, and I was going to take Oregon up until this moment because you all 3 took them, so the podcast took them. This makes me feel more confident that I'll take Michigan State because there's so many things here, and D'Antonio is 5-1 in his last 6 bowl games, so I'll ride that. And I don't like the Pac-12. They're going to lose later, so give me Michigan State.
How long does D'Antonio keep his job with seasons like the last couple that he's had?
I think
Because-
he's been over. He's he's winning bowl games. I mean, that's all that matters. And the
I-
only bowl game loss they had was to Bama.
I mean, I understand they were not relevant at all as a team until he came on, but he had maybe 2 really strong seasons, and he's been just mediocre.
But he keeps beating Michigan and he keeps beating Ohio State. He was Urban had 4 losses in the Big Ten, 2 to D'Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
One
mean, he
was
still
to
has a
Purdue, one
losing
was to
record
Iowa.
against Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
He got shut out by Bama. I mean, not saying anything. Ohio State got shut out by Clemson, but I'm just making a point. I don't. You're right. I bet you that leash is a lot shorter than most people think. I didn't even think about that honestly
Right.
until you just said it.
He won't. Well, first off, I wouldn't put him past there maybe 3 years tops.
He's got to be getting at that age too, where he doesn't look like he's having fun on the sidelines ever. Have you ever seen him smile?
No.
Once. He's like, it's like Lloyd Carr's bitch ass decided to retire, so we needed a new grumpy guy in
the
Michigan
Big Ten.
coaching. Yeah. So I mean, he doesn't smile, doesn't joke, doesn't seem to be enjoying himself at all. It's very Lloyd Carr-esque to me. I don't know. I don't play for him. Not a fan. I'm just kind of curious as a Big Ten viewer, how many more seasons Sparty fans are going to give him a pass.
Well, he's been there 12 years too, and when you think about it, that really isn't that much. I mean, college it is, but
That's a lifetime for a college
for a
coach.
college
Yeah.
coach. But you look at Saban, how long he's there. Urban would be there forever.
Yeah, but you're naming top echelon coaches.
True, and they're
Not
top
saying
echelon
not saying
coaches.
D'Antoni isn't. I'm just saying he's not in that.
No,
echelon.
No, he's not in that league.
No, he's not. But if he was at a school that was prominent, like Ohio State or Florida, or
He needs to go down to
Bama.
like South Florida, something like that.
yeah,
Hang out down there. Maybe he'll be a little happier.
I mean, the one thing is, since they did win 3 division titles in the East, which is the same amount as Ohio State divisions, like when they played in the divisions, because they were in the same, whatever the leaders or legends or whatever the hell it was. And I know
Would
that's
that last a year?
couple
2
of
years?
not long. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be there that long. But yeah, give me them. I know who are you taking for that one?
Oregon.
All right. And next, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Missouri versus Oklahoma State. Both of those guys took OK State.
And I hate Missouri, so I'm just going to take Oklahoma State, just in general, just out of spite. I have no analysis. 0.
Why do you hate Missouri?
It's a long story, and I'll give you.
No, I want you to go
I'll give
into
you-
He has not heard it. Go ahead.
I'm not going to give the long story on it. So pretty much, we're at the Toledo game when Missouri came up and played them 3 or 4 years ago, I think now.
When Gary Pinkel came back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matty Mock was quarterback then, so it had to be right around that time. And we had the 2 most annoying Missouri fans wearing, the collared shirt while everyone else was wearing football jerseys. Typical SEC fan shit. And he was there with his dad. And we were all there drinking, having a good time. Obviously, Missouri's beating the shit out of Toledo. That's what they're going to do. And this dude just keeps running his mouth. So we're going back and forth with him. And we're here with Brandon, other friends, whatnot. And this dude wouldn't shut up. So we finally just back at him. Like, dude, what the fuck's your problem? Just shut up. I have $5,000 in my pocket. I could buy you right now. Like, who cares? And I wouldn't be saying that in Toledo. Probably not the smartest thing. And his fat-ass dad was laughing, so we just kept ripping on him the whole time. And the dude wouldn't come down. We invited him to come down. He was probably 5 rows up. And that was the other thing. Like, you have $5,000 in your pocket, but you're sitting 5 rows above us, dude. So your ticket was probably cheaper than ours.
Right.
So it was, ever since then, hated Missouri. And I was never a Matty Mock guy.
Yeah.
People hyped him up so much, and he was just a druggie who has amounted to nothing in life. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to make my pick here, and then I want to go back to something. But I am taking Missouri. Justice Hill, who is the main thing in Oklahoma State, the running back, is not playing in the bowl game. This game opened as a 10-point spread. Now it's 8. I don't think Missouri covers 8. They're an 8-point favorite. I think it's going to be about 7. It's going to be close, but give me Missouri. Ryan.
I took Missouri in that one.
And I wanted to go back to this, because we were talking about D'Antonio and Saban, so you obviously know Nick Saban coached at Michigan State. I assume you knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. He was 0-3 in bowl games at Michigan State, by the way. D'Antonio served under him
yeah,
and under Tressel. I think we knew that. And then also, you know who else was a graduate assistant at Michigan State? Under that?
Urban?
Think NFL right now, and who will likely be a head coach next year?
Me?
Yes. He's been a head coach before, waiting in the wings again. He will be a head coach again.
I don't know, dude. McDaniels is the only one that comes to my head.
There you go.
Really?
Yep.
I figured he was too young to do that. Shit.
I thought so too, but 99 served on Saban's coaching staff as a graduate assistant at Michigan State.
Every time I think of Missouri, I think of Chase Daniel. Every single time.
I could see that.
Yeah, same here. I think of Pinkel. That's what
Gary Pinkel, Chase Daniel. That's about it. Those are the only two names I ever really associate with Missouri.
And mine is Matty Mock and a fat, annoying Missouri fans. So
fat ass on a college shirt.
That's all I get.
Yeah.
Who was too scared to come down a couple rows and hang out with my friends.
And here now we have the San Diego Chicken County Credit Union Poinsettia Holiday Bowl. Northwestern versus Utah. Utah for Brandon, Northwestern for Jake.
I like the way Northwestern played ball all year. I like the way they played against Ohio State. You know, they put up a little decent fight for a little bit and then ended up getting blown off. But that's what's going to happen when you're, playing the top offense in college football. So, and that's higher than Oklahoma, by the way. Throwing that out there. Northwestern beats Utah.
Give me Utah. So, Ryan, you got the tiebreaker.
Utah.
All right. I'm glad we go with each other most of the time.
I don't think this is the Big Ten's year. I think Big Ten's going to suck big time in bowl games.
As I look at this, I'm like, gosh, I just can't go with the Big Ten. All right, next we've got in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Texas A&M and NC State.
Sorry, I was
Texas A&M for Brandon and NC State for Jake.
Give me A&M here.
I make it
feel
easy.
like they
A&M
should.
here too. Agreed. Ryan?
I went to NC State.
Okay.
Wolfpack all day.
Hyundai Sun Bowl. Pitt and Stanford. Stanford for both of those guys.
Yeah, give me Stanford too. Pitt played. They got the shit beat out of them by Clemson, didn't they? In the title game. Yeah, I think Stanford puts up a good fight on them.
Yeah, give me Stanford.
Brian, you taking Stanford also?
Yeah, I'm also taking Stanford. But to be fair, Pitt could be playing pretty much anybody, and I'm going to go against them because fuck Mark May.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely fuck Mark May.
yeah. No one likes Mark May. That's why he's not at ESPN, and even ESPN doesn't like Mark
No,
May.
I like Weinstadt a lot, but fuck Mark May. So never Pittsburgh for me, ever.
Another one in the Outback Bowl, Mississippi State and Iowa. Mississippi State for Brandon, Iowa for Jake.
Why do I feel like Iowa's in the Outback Bowl every year?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sounds like something they're in. This is tough, man.
Good, I'll help you. Mississippi State is winning this game, so give me Mississippi State.
I know. And that's going to make Ryan's job easier. I'll take Mississippi State. Close, though.
That's who I had.
So 4-1. Sorry, stat guy again. Watch him whoop our ass, and we got to give him swag from our own show.
Shit.
Oh, gosh. Kentucky and Penn State in the VRBO Citrus Bowl. Is it Verbo?
I don't know.
VRBO? I have no idea.
Think of all the free advertising you're going to get, though, if Stat Guy wins and, everybody sees the shirts while he's delivering pizzas.
Well, he doesn't do that. He works at a machine shop.
It's
He's
a joke, I know.
I know, but he could still deliver pizzas for some guy. Penn State for both Jake and Brandon. Bear?
Interesting. I'm taking Kentucky here. I feel like Kentucky should just beat the crap out of them.
I think Penn State wins by 10. Give me Penn State. It's already decided Penn State, so you're good here.
I also took Penn State, though, because the Big Ten needs a win, and I think it's going to be the first one.
It's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got to go back and look. Next one, we've got Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which starts the New Year's Six bowl games, I believe, correct? Yes. Florida and Michigan. Michigan for both of those guys.
Yeah,
What?
Give me Scum. I'm gonna take them. I don't want to, but they should beat Florida.
So that's the pick.
Yeah, give me Michigan as well.
I'm going to be the lone voice of dissent. Harbaugh is going to choke again.
On his boogers?
Probably.
Okay.
Although, you know what pisses me off? Somebody did find pictures of Ryan Day picking his nose as the OC.
Oh, it's dicks.
Yep.
Unbelievable. That's okay. We all do it. You can say that.
He's got 5 years, so
Did he eat it, though, like Harbaugh? I mean,
No,
Harbaugh went,
no,
okay,
he just
good.
was picking.
See, that's okay. If you pick your nose and then just rub it on, your shirt or flick it on the ground, that's okay. Harbaugh ate it.
Right.
I mean,
okay with you doing the farmer's tissue too, where you just like snot rocket it out. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're not eating your fucking booger.
That's fair. I think that's a fair assessment there.
You milk drinking, khaki wearing asshole.
Sleeping with recruits, kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Sleepovers.
There's nothing right about that guy. That guy's so weird. Whatever. It's
Right.
whatever.
Next, the PlayStation. I liked this better when it was Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. It just made sense.
Yeah, now I just don't want to buy Tostitos anymore because of that.
Right. Just buy the Kroger brand. The let's
A lot cheaper.
LSU versus UCF. UCF for Brandon. LSU for Jake.
I'm taking UCF. I think they can beat the SEC for a second year in a row. I know you're taking LSU.
I just want them to beat UCF's ass. So yes, give me LSU.
Which means
You're the tiebreaker
Ryan
again.
for the tiebreaker.
LSU.
All right.
Burrow.
I like Joe. So and I they need to shut up. UCF needs to shut up. If you want to compete at the big boy level, you have to beat a big boy team. LSU would be proof that they deserve it, I guess, if they are able to pull it off.
The next game, really the only one that matters. Rose Bowl presented by Northwestern Mutual. Jake and Brandon took Ohio State.
Urban's last game, possibly Haskins' last game. Ohio State under a 7 point. They're like 6.5 point favorite.
Right.
I actually got a call from Matt Carter, who we talked about on the show.
Yep.
Drunkenly, I think it was this past weekend. I want to say, I think it was Saturday night, saying, "I don't know where you bet on your stuff, but you need to get that immediately because I want $1,000 on Ohio State if that spread stays under 7." He thinks that's just cake work, and I totally agree with him. I don't see Ohio State losing by more. Or I'm sorry, winning. Jesus.
Now you already started bad.
I don't see Ohio State winning by less than 7. I think that they beat up Washington pretty well here. Washington has not been impressive this year.
No, not at all.
I think that they should stomp them. Their defense doesn't worry me at all, not one bit.
I think everybody saw who Washington and Washington State were in that rivalry game. I think it was completely exposed.
I think we all took Washington, didn't we? To win the Pac-12 game? To beat Washington State?
I know I did.
I did too, and I'm pretty sure Brandon did. So for this one, easy. Give me OH.
Yeah, IO. 2 scores at least, probably more like 3 or 4.
It's gonna be ugly for Washington.
I think so too.
I hope we're all right. Let's see here. Georgia and Texas in the All-State Sugar Bowl.
Brandon and Stat Guy both have Georgia. I agree with them. I think Georgia
Hands down, Georgia's going to mop the floor with them.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Georgia will win. I don't think they mop the floor. Texas has played tough this year. They should have beat Oklahoma again.
But they play again. Who'd they play? No defense ever, and Georgia's got Fromm still.
I'm just saying, Georgia and Alabama, these teams haven't played anybody either. Besides each other before that, they haven't, is what I'm saying. They don't play anybody.
That's
they
cool.
play
Give me
cupcakes.
35-13 Georgia.
No. We'll put a side bet on that.
All right.
The
line's 11. They cover that.
Okay. I'll take Texas. You give me 11? Mm-hmm. We'll do it right now. 20? 50?
We'll go 20 because I've got several bets in other games here, and I got to keep track of it.
Let's write that down somewhere. I'm going to write it down on this. We'll put it on a board. So I get Texas plus 11.
Yep.
$20.
You can have them. Plus 11. I just need 2 touchdowns. That's it. But put the score for fun. 35-13 is what I had, Georgia.
All right. Hold on a second. 35-13.
Now you got to leave that sheet here.
No, I'm going to write it down on the board.
Oh, on the board. There we go.
I'm going to say Georgia does win. I said they do win this game. But I don't think it'll be that crazy. So give me Georgia 28-24.
Pretty good. All right. 20 on a game. We like it. So Georgia is winning. I have that. You have?
I picked Georgia. I think Georgia is probably one of the best 4 teams in football right now.
So if you were taking that line, who would you take in the 11?
11's tough.
It's a big number.
11's a big number. I think Georgia's a better team than Oklahoma, and Oklahoma beat Texas.
By 12.
Right.
Somehow they learned how to play defense and hold them to, 20? Well, I say learn defense, and they held them to, 26?
But
that's defense for them.
you're giving Texas 4 weeks
Right.
to prepare. So I don't know.
Where's the Sugar Bowl played?
It should be New Orleans. The Mercedes-Benz Superdome. I mean, hey, Tom Herman, as you know, he was under Urban. Mm-hmm. He's been under good coaches. He knows what he's doing. Tom Herman can get his team ready. Just saying.
And the only thing that
Kirby Smart, Georgia is playing for nothing in my opinion. They've got a
giant chip on their shoulder, though.
They do. They just can't beat Bama. They will beat the shit out of everybody else.
That's what I'm saying, though. They want Bama again. They don't want Texas. So I think they're going to come in flat.
So they're playing because they're pissed off that they didn't.
I don't like it. I think they come in flat.
I think they come in pissed off. Mm-hmm. I think, and they should. They had Bama handled, and they couldn't finish. So there you go.
I agree. I mean, they could, but I just think that brings somebody in flat.
Show, by the way.
Because I'm here.
No, it's because there's a lot of picks here.
Yeah.
And it could be because you're here. All right, let's go to this next one. We got the first playoff game, number 1 versus number 4 at the Capital One Orange Bowl. Alabama got to pick this, didn't they? Is that how that worked? They got to pick which one they went to, and they said they wanted the Orange Bowl because
I don't think
because the other one's at Dallas, and it would have been like a home game for Oklahoma. I don't know how true that was. I'm like, they could pick?
I don't think they can. I think they have them set, to be honest with you.
See, I thought they picked.
I think at the beginning of the year they go 1-4, here's your bowl game, 2-3,
Gotcha.
Here's your bowl game. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. So Orange Bowl, Alabama, Oklahoma.
Dude, I want to take Oklahoma so bad. I do. I think they have what it takes to beat them. I really do think they have the offense to be better. And Jalen came in, he did beat Georgia. I'll give him that. But dude, Tua running around, just watching him, how he was even in the Heisman conversation. I know that Georgia's good. I know Georgia has a good defense. He looked rough on that knee that's injured, and he makes a lot of bad decisions throwing the ball. So even if he's semi-healthy and plays this game, I know Oklahoma's defense sucks, but I think they can, I think Lincoln Riley can have him ready to play against this team. I'm going to go out on a limb. Give me Oklahoma. Screw it. How about that?
Okay. And these guys both took Bama. I'm also taking Alabama. So, give me Alabama.
I would have picked Bama as well. And to be clear, I hate both teams. Hate them both.
I'm interested. I want to see what Kyler Murray can do, and I think he can carve up this Bama defense. And I know he's not going to play much more. He's going to go.
MLB.
He's going to go to baseball and make
Oakland
a lot of money
A's.
for the Athletics. He won't play football after this. So This is his time to shine. This is his game to be a national champion. Go play baseball.
He can have a longer career and make more money in baseball. I don't
Right.
blame him. Yeah.
No.
And he can walk at 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in the NFL he'd get killed. He's 5'9".
Yeah.
He's not big.
No, he's a twig.
He's not at all. But I've heard he's a wonderful He's shortstop, right?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to look that up for you while we talk about it.
Okay. Well, did you want to go to?
No, we all picked Bama.
We all took Bama except you.
me.
Except
Took Oklahoma.
Next one we've got. Really?
What?
They both took Notre Dame against Clemson.
Shut up.
you popping one for Brandon? Brandon took Notre Dame. Jake took Notre Dame. Hell no. Give me Clemson. I'm sticking with, if you look at that board, who I took at the beginning of the year, that is still going to be my final score of the championship. That is who will be in the championship. Give me Clemson. I'm sticking with my pick at the beginning of the year. Alabama over Clemson in the championship, 31-24. So give me Bama as that national champ while you're at it.
I hate both teams with a passion. I hate Clemson more because they have Ohio State's number. I just don't have the cojones to pick Notre Dame here.
Kyler Murray's 5'11", by the way.
5'11", in his cleats, maybe. I guarantee he's not 5'11".
Yeah, they padded 2 inches for the program.
And Big Show's 7'5", buddy boy.
Oh, this says 5'10".
Just remember that. Yeah.
Let's get closer.
I have to take Clemson here. Notre Dame has struggled against blah teams this year, and the best team they played all year is Michigan,
right. And
they barely beat them. And Michigan had a good squad, but they got handled by Ohio State quite easily. I can't see Notre Dame winning this game, and if they did, I'd be happy for them. I'd be happy for Brandon, but I just can't see it. Give me Clemson.
He's a center fielder, by the way, Kyler Murray. You've got Clemson. So you were the I already know you're not taking.
I'm
Notre
taking
Dame.
Clemson.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Notre Dame: if they don't go undefeated, since they're independents, if they don't go undefeated, they don't get in. The only reason they're in is because they went undefeated this season. I honestly think they played almost nobody. They don't really deserve to be there. I've not been impressed by them. I don't see whatever it is that apparently some of these other people see. They're not that great. And I think they're going to get embarrassed on the national stage, maybe worse than Ohio State got embarrassed by Clemson. I'm not saying shutout, but I'm saying it's going to be ugly.
Well, the good thing is, for the national championship, the podcast has already taken Alabama. So we're good there. That's done. Said and done. Because he's got Alabama and Notre Dame. You've got Oklahoma, Clemson. Jake and I both have Bama. Bama's the champ.
Well, did Notre Dame? Well,
One has Notre Dame, one has Clemson or Oklahoma.
What if I want to pick Alabama as my national champion?
Yeah. Then Alabama.
You know what that's called? That's called hedging your bets, buddy.
Okay, then we're taking Alabama regardless.
But my point is that you're saying that I could take Oklahoma or Clemson, but I'm not. Maybe I'll take Bama. I don't know. Brandon didn't make a pick.
Because he doesn't want to pick that.
I'm going to give him Notre Dame.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll ask him when he gets on. God. Hopes and dreams. Yeah, Bama's, as a podcast, it looks like Bama, unless you hedge your bet into...
No, I like that. I'm happy that we're going to take Bama as a podcast. No, I am going to take Oklahoma. I don't know what it is. I don't know why.
You're drinking the cool, and
I'm not. I don't think it is. It's my gut instinct. I don't know why. I have that feeling,
and it make you feel better because they got in over Ohio State, kind of like we did over TCU several years ago, and we won as a 4 seed.
It's just a gut feeling I have. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to take Oklahoma to beat Alabama. I'm going to take Oklahoma to beat Clemson, and I'm going to take Kyler Murray to go out on top as national championship, as Heisman, and go play baseball. That's it.
And you've got Alabama, Clemson. Who you got? Bama. All right. And if you got to put a score in, stick with my score because that's what we had at the beginning of the year, Bama and Clemson. So we have we got Clemson, right? Yep, Bama against Clemson for the podcast.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bama for the win. So hopefully, give me that. I hope we're right. I hope we get it.
Okay. I'm going to take Oklahoma over Clemson 35-24.
What about you? What do you got?
Bama over Clemson.
Yeah, no, score. Just give a score.
I think it's going to be lower than what you guys got. You got 31-24. Say 27-17.
Okay.
Podcast tiebreaker. Obviously, we have Alabama beating Clemson. I am going to take. You just want yours?
Let's just use that because it's been there all year. Let's just, unless you guys had something close. Nope. I mean, it's been there. It's the only one that said, let's just stick with it.
Hold on a second. Give me. This is what Brandon wants. You can have that.
69-0.
That's Brandon's final score. Notre Dame beating Alabama 69-0. That's
I like
me
that
saying.
He did not pick it. I love it.
I picked it for him.
All right, so that is the bowl. You can tell them again where they got to go for that, for the Capital One Bowl Mania.
Okay, so it's ESPN.com. On the fantasy tab, fantasy drop down, either or, Capital One Bowl Mania. Our group is Over the Line Sports Pod. It's a public group. You can put 2 entries in. We'll give you 2 entries on that. Obviously put in whatever names you want. If you do beat us, if you win, we'll find you. We'll find a way to get you the OTL swag that you so desire, that everyone out there in listener land desires.
Come get some, and thank you for the several tiebreakers, Ryan. We needed your help today for tiebreakers, because if we didn't have you here, we would have been flipping a coin. So I'm glad that we got somewhere with that.
Oh, that would have been a pain in the dick.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
No, it'd be terrible.
No.
It's a coin hitting the table every 2 minutes.
So before we jump into the NFL, I just want to thank our sponsors, like always. We've still got NFL. We're a little more than an hour and a half in to this episode. So, of course, thank you to Crandall's Quality Lawn Care, Verizon, PNC, the ultimate, of course, as we say, all-wear clothing, and Charlie's Dodge. So make sure you visit Charlie's Dodge. He'll hook you up, get in a new truck. Three of us on the show. Stat Guy's truck got wrecked. It wasn't his fault, but he's getting it back. I have a Dodge truck, Dodge Ram. Bear has a Dodge Ram. I know you don't drive a Dodge.
I bought 3 Rams from Charlie's Dodge.
There you
over the
go.
years.
See?
Yeah.
Charlie's Dodge. Ben Meyer. Check him out. And then PNC, of course, to help you. We've got, I think, the 3 guys at this table all have credit scores over 800.
That's probably true.
That is true.
I know it is for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Sean at Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. You know where he's sitting at? 845.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Mine's going to go down. I just actually opened another credit card just for fun. One of the NFL ones. I don't know why. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to.
Every time I'm someplace and they offer, hey, if you open up a new line of credit, we'll give you this for 15%. I don't want any more lines of credit. I want fewer lines of credit in my life.
I think
And you don't have to tell me, but how many, not debit card, how many credit cards do you have? You don't have to give me a number. Over or under 2.5?
over
2.
for me.
I have 2.
Under. Okay. This will be my third, so this will put me over. That'll be it.
I think I have like a Zales card and a.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about.
But they're still open. They're still
Right.
open.
I mean, well, if that's the
but
case,
actual
yeah.
credit cards, I think I have 4.
I mean, yeah, I have like a Best Buy credit card, Furniture Row, but I don't count
I have
because
4,
those are all paid off.
I have
so.
4, but I have 0 balance on
See,
any of them. I
okay.
just use them once a month.
No, I'm going down to 1 because if we're not counting store specific, because I do have a Best Buy credit card.
Okay.
I pay it off. I use it for my purchases because it's 5% off. I pay it off immediately. And I have a Furniture Row, not Furniture Row, the store next to it.
Sam's Club.
Van.
Arvan. I have an Arvan credit card. I just used to buy my daughter's bedroom set. That's it. Paying that off.
Which-
so then I have like a real
Which
credit
daughter?
card.
Don't you have like 14 daughters? Or
3.
3?
3.
14. That's a lot, not
Yeah.
a 3.
3 daughters and
It
one
probably feels
son.
like
My
14
oldest is the
sometimes.
only boy, yeah.
Good man, and I tell you what, because we were talking about kids and we were talking about Grayson and how he's a sharp kid and how he's basically gonna figure out next year that Santa is non-existent. And
Wait, what?
Sorry, but your kid is one of the most brilliant kids I think I've ever met, and he is brilliant.
He's smart. He's a lot of fun too. I mean, he's at a cool age because he's a sophomore in high school. He plays football. He wrestles. He wrestles varsity, which is kind of cool at his age. And the only thing that sucks about that is if you've never been to a wrestling tournament, they're usually 2 days, and you spend a lot of time sitting in the bleacher on like a Saturday or a Friday night or Saturday all day into a Sunday. Sometimes you drive 2.5 hours. So, I mean, it's a grind, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, you're watching a fight at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Did we get? Sorry to cut in. Did we get the final score of the Cavs game?
They're still playing.
Or
Yeah,
are they?
this is the 4th.
Oh, there we go.
They're up by 4.
All right. Well, again, thank you to our sponsors as we get into the NFL picks. All right. So, Mayor, if you could give us kind of the update on the Pigskin Pick'em, where we sit in our standings, and then we'll get into the picks.
All right, so Gary, you are still leading by 2 over me, 132, 74, and 2. I am at 130, 76, and 2, and Brandon is quite a bit behind at 121, 85, and 2.
Is Hot Friend still beating him?
Yes, she is. She's got 122, so she's still up on 1 by Brandon. She did drop a spot to 6th. West Texas Rednecks got 1 more than her this
that
week.
son of a bitch caught us, too.
Yep, Vialise, who we still don't know who it is, finally caught us. Tied with us at 132 right now. Wellington's winners at 1.
Would that be an asterisk because you picked the wrong one, so we should be at 133?
We could be at 133, yes.
We should asterisk that because you took the wrong.
Well, can't win them all,
Honest
buddy.
mistake, even though 2 of the 3 of us took the Steelers.
I was trying to give them, reason to live. Wellington's wieners, Gary's burner account, 131. Mr. Perfect to 126. He's fallen off right now. He needs to step it back up. West Texas Rednecks 123. Hot Friend at 122.
Man, they all dropped off.
So
That's
they're
kind of separating.
still within
Elise
10
and us.
with 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks left in the regular
So we've got
season.
48 games to decide this. So yeah, get us right in it, man. What do we got?
Okay, so first Thursday night, probably the biggest game of the week almost.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Chargers at Chiefs. I think Kansas City beat them the first week of the year, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I think
honestly.
so. I can't remember. Brandon took the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home. They did just struggle with Baltimore, but they get to stay at home on a short week. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, and they're playing for the division lead here. If the Chiefs win, they get it. Give me the Chefs.
Me?
Yep.
Chiefs, 35-31.
Like it. So I should play Phillip Rivers over Drew Brees in my last place fantasy game this week. It's a tough one, and I don't know who I want to play. Rivers put up 425 and 3 touchdowns the first week at home against Kansas City. But, yeah. And I mean, if I lose, I wear a dress. So this is a big game.
Oh, it's big, yeah.
I don't know. I got to get there.
I'm rooting for you, buddy. Thanks for taking that big L for us in our game by 40.
You're welcome. Yeah, not all of us have the game of Dak Prescott's career in the second half. Freaking Cavs.
Well, even if Dak stuck with 6, I still beat you by 20.
I mean, it didn't matter regardless.
No, you're right. And because I did
life.
not want to see Johnny and myself in a dress next year.
I wanted to see you guys in the same dress.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Have you guys ever thought about doing a shame bowl where you each do your season picks and whoever finishes last has to get a tattoo that the other guys pick?
I would love to, but it wouldn't happen because Brandon would not do it.
Yeah, he would never do that.
Yeah.
It would be, you'd get a nice smiley face on your ass, though, I tell you that.
We wouldn't go crazy. It'd be like, you get Ohio State,
Brandon,
Brutus the Buckeye tattooed on your forearm.
We'd have to, I wouldn't do that. So it would
I'd do it to Brandon.
Well, he'd have to get a temporary tattoo. I mean, I already wear long sleeves enough, but I don't want to wear them the rest of my life when I have, work obligations.
You put something on the hip, nothing where it shows,
Yeah.
but you give him like a Care Bear in a Notre Dame jersey.
That would be a good one.
Right.
Okay, Saturday, we get 2 games. The first game, Texans at the Jets. Brandon took the Texans. I'm also going to take the Texans here.
Yeah, no question, Texans.
Rodney Hood with a nice shot there. Goes up by 1. Sorry.
I have Texans killing them. I mean, it's not even close.
They should.
I got 27-12.
12.
I like it.
Interesting.
I'm playing Houston's defense, so I need them.
4 field goals. That's all they get.
That would be a Jets thing to do.
They're not seeing the end zone. They fucking suck.
And I think Darnold's still out, right? McCown's playing. He just re-hurt himself.
Yeah.
The night game on Saturday night, the Browns get primetime. Browns at Broncos, who, by the way, the Browns, what day is this? December 12th?
And they're two games out of the division.
It's a Saturday.
I think,
right?
Yeah. 1.5 games out of the wild card right now?
Right.
Right? So
they're not getting in, but I would love them to.
Why not? The Browns are in the playoff hunt. Going to the Broncos. I'm sorry, I got to take Denver.
I'm taking the Browns. I believe. Give them 6 and 7 and 1. Give me the Browns.
And Brandon has the Browns as well, so the podcast will be taking the Browns.
I also picked the Browns. 17-14.
Can we just talk about when he was supposed to be on the show? He beat us all on picks. He was 10-4 that week, or 11-3, whatever you were.
Yep. Yeah.
It was insane. But we all lost on the Cowboys beating the Eagles because we all took the Eagles across the board.
Yeah. Ryan, you're a Browns fan?
Yeah, the struggle's real.
Well, you should be happy though this year.
This
Do you
I'm
have
happy.
a score, by the way?
What, for Browns?
Yeah.
17-14.
What do you think of Baker?
I was going to ask you that too because I was just with a family member who's like, I cannot forgive Baker. I don't know how Browns fans can forgive him. He's a big Buckeye guy.
See, here's how I feel.
That's how he is.
All sins are forgiven once you go into the NFL.
I agree.
When Braylon Edwards became a Brown, I was happy to have him. Now, he didn't do much. We didn't have a quarterback at the time that could really throw to him. But once you're in the NFL, college is college. And I'm more of a college guy than I am an NFL fan. So I live and die with the scarlet and gray. And as much as I hated Baker for planting the flag, he didn't get it to stick. And at the same time, too, that cocky kid that he was last year, that swagger is what's carrying Cleveland and this young team into some wins this season.
I agree.
So,
And he can sling the ball. I mean, he is not scared to throw. It's awesome to watch.
And he puts the ball in places, he's got tight windows that he gets it in. He leads his receivers really well. He plays really smart football. For a guy who's a rookie in the NFL, he's playing like it's year 4 or 5 for him. So, yeah, I think I've said this so many times, I don't want to jinx it, but this could be the guy.
And I think you're right. And I know how everyone says Mahomes is like the Brett Favre. Baker is like Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Like you said, you saw him against Houston. He played bad. Houston's good defense confused him. He played bad. He had a bad game. He still threw for 400-plus yards in that game. He kept throwing. He comes back the next week, and he beats Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. That's great resiliency, and it's only going to get better for the Browns. Their defense is pretty freaking good. And, they have a young team. Jarvis there. I think Jarvis is a great acquisition, great wide receiver. Njoku is a great tight end once he starts catching the ball a little bit more. But he's also, is he a rookie or second year, right? Rookie, yeah.
And after they beat
Chubb.
the Bengals.
Yeah, Chubb now.
Chubb is insane.
Chubb's insane.
Trading away Hyde was wonderful for them.
Yes,
But,
I agree.
But after they beat the Bengals, Hugh Jackson's there on the sideline. Basically, he was hired in by Lewis to beat the Browns. And, he couldn't even beat his own team because the guy can't win.
So
Yeah, he got a game ball.
The Browns are 3-2 without him, and
Right.
the Bengals are 0-3, 0-4, right?
Yeah.
0-4.
And Baker kind of, had some words with
said
him
it.
at the end of the game and did not really
Didn't shake his hand, right?
No.
And he had nothing good to say about it.
No, because, Hugh Jackson really kind of held him back, didn't want to start him, didn't really believe in him, and, Baker's got his number. So I like Baker as a quarterback. I like him as my quarterback. Now, let's be honest. If he had gone to any other team, I would hate him.
Yes.
I would hate him so much. But because he's on my team, he's my guy. So, and that's how sports works, right? That's what we.
I
And
feel
he's
like
good for that franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
he
is.
is.
He is great for that franchise.
Cleveland all around. I haven't given a shit about the Indians forever, but all around, Cleveland is a young team in all capacities, in basketball and now in football. And did we just
Sorry.
win?
Yeah,
No,
we're about to.
We're about
they
to
just
win.
got a great steal there. Cavs are about to seal it here with a couple free throws.
But yeah, I think Baker being a young quarterback is exactly what we need right now. He's got a lot of kids on that team. They're looking at him in a leadership position. He's 22, 23.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with him, especially with the level he's able to play at right out of the gate. There was a lot of talk about them taking Sam initially for the first-round pick. I'm so glad they took Baker.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think he's great. Just quick off that, my parents' neighbors, huge Browns fan, season tickets for the last 20 years, and it was the same way. Hated Baker, didn't want to play him. Now he sees him. I'm like, John, come on, the kid's the truth. Hate him all you want, this and that. You gotta respect, and he's starting to gain respect on him like that. So
Yeah, he's won over a lot of us.
yeah, it's going to be good. I think there's a lot of good coming for the Browns here. Next game, sorry to get sidetracked. First Sunday game we have Atlanta at home against the Cardinals. Brandon has the Falcons. I'm also taking the Falcons.
Falcons.
Falcons by 2 scores for me.
You got a score on that one?
I went 28-14.
Okay.
All right, next game up on the board, Raiders at Bengals. This is going to be an old-fashioned suck-off if you've ever seen one. Brandon has the Raiders. Oh, God. The Raiders have been playing decent football, right? But so have the Bengals. You just typed in the Raiders, so I wanted to scare you a little bit. I'm going to take the Raiders here.
Raiders.
I took the Bengals for that one.
Score?
24-20.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't
I
either.
really wouldn't.
I think both teams suck ass, but
And the Raiders just fired Reggie McKenzie, their GM, which is now, it's official. Everyone is gone. It's Gruden's team. This is it.
Yeah.
Davis and Gruden, this is it. This is their team.
ride or die, and I don't know.
I can thank,
their money's
as a
worth
Cowboys
out of it.
fan, I can thank John Gruden for the Cowboys making the playoffs.
Yeah, remember when people said that Amari Cooper for a first round was bad and Golden Tate was the better trade? Yeah.
Well, that was
how many,
Brandon.
How many catches does Golden Tate have in Philly?
And
Like
I
6?
said, I think, and I was on the fence, and I said, I think a number one is probably worth it because there's nobody coming out next year. It just was proven. It was proven on Thanksgiving.
Well, it's funny
and this
because
just solidified it this past week.
At the time when they would have been sitting top 10 pick, everyone's like, well, that was stupid. Now look, they're going to make the playoffs. It's now going to be a top 23, 24 pick.
Right.
So the Raiders already have 2 first-round picks, so now they're just going to get one later. But like you said, at the end of the day,
So Amari was at 23, yeah.
Amari Cooper is a better first round
Have
than
you
you're going to
seen
get
him?
right now. Sorry.
This week, did you see what he did this week?
No.
10 catches, 217, 3 touchdowns?
Yeah. A game-winning touchdown in overtime.
Yeah, unbelievable. This guy is insane. And Thanksgiving,
Granted, it was lucky, but it doesn't matter. Touchdown's a touchdown and win the game.
he was
there.
still able to be there for that tip and catch.
Right place, right time. That's all it is.
And that's, if you watch him, he is one of the best and smartest route runners. Like, you can't touch him.
Yep.
You can't hold him. And he's young. My fear as a Cowboys fan is how you going to pay him How are you going to pay Dak, and how are you going to pay Zeke?
Well,
I don't think they're going to pay Dak.
You're not going to pay Dak a lot. They think they will. Zeke does, and DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, they all deserve it.
They got to pay them all.
They also have $50 million of cap space that they can use, so I'm not too concerned about it. They have enough cap space.
2020
to
is
pay
when
them.
it's coming for Dak and Zeke,
Yeah.
and then next year's Amari.
And DeMarcus Lawrence.
And
They're not going
DeMarcus
to. They can't
Lawrence.
franchise tag him again.
Yeah, they have to pay that man.
Yeah, they will.
And then you got Randy Gregory. He's going to get his money eventually.
I don't think so.
If they keep him. And then, but their Van Der Esch is going to get his.
Neil
And so is
eventually.
Jalen. Yeah, they're both going to get their money.
Like I said, there's plenty out there to get paid. Defensive guys don't get, besides Mac, defensive guys don't get paid as much as the Zekes and the Daks and all that of the world.
How would you
they'll
love to be
fine.
a Raiders fan now that we're talking about the Raiders as we just did, and you got rid of Mac and Cooper to watch Khalil Mack be basically a defensive MVP, and
Cooper
Amari
is.
now could be an offensive MVP since he's been with Dallas.
I mean,
Way to go, Gruden. 10
Yeah.
years, $100 million.
But I think Gruden coming in, I think this was his plan the whole time.
I
He's
agree.
treating it like he got a 10-year deal. He's not going anywhere. I don't know how much of it's guaranteed, but I would imagine most of it is. It's just like a college coach. He's going to bring his guys in. He's going to draft. He's rebuilding the Raiders. They're going to Vegas. It makes sense. It does. I'm sorry.
I don't mind though when bad things happen to Raiders because that fan base is like they're the Cheetos of people. Okay, it's fucking garbage.
I like Cheetos.
Okay, we were talking about this on my podcast one time with my friend Denver from Canada, and he doesn't really follow
Denver from Canada.
Yeah, he doesn't really follow American football, but he knows who Raiders fans are, and he says, when I was growing up, you'd see like that fourth grader in a starter's jacket smoking. That kid was a Raiders fan, and fuck yeah, he was.
So true.
That's who they have.
He's got the
right?
pirate skull with the eye patch right on the back of the jacket. You know it.
And I don't care. Like I don't think Gruden's going to be worth the money in the long run. I think 10 years. I don't think he'll do 10. I think they'll have to buy him out before it's all said and done.
Probably.
I don't think the franchise is going to be happy. And God, I'm 40 years old. This is the fourth city that the Raiders will have played in. Some of those cities twice in my lifetime. It's the most fickle NFL team that you can see right now.
What is it? L.A., Oakland, L.A., Vegas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
L.A. No, yeah, it was Oakland,
Oakland,
then
LA,
L.A., back
Oakland.
to Oakland.
Now
Vegas.
Yeah, so 4, yeah.
It's terrible.
Insane.
Well, it's kind of like St. Louis. They're what? But they're L.A., St. Louis, L.A.
I don't remember them being in L.A. before they were in St. Louis.
It was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I barely remember that. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention back
It
then.
was the Rams. They were nobody.
Right.
Like
They were
Eric
good.
Dickerson's the last time they were good before Kurt
And that
Warner.
was the 80s, and that was LA.
Yeah, that was
The
L.A.
last time they were really good, they had Fred Dreyer, the guy who played Hunter, and Merlin Olsen, who was on Little House on the Prairie. I mean, that's when they were really good, and that was back in the 60s and 70s Rams.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Next game, Vikings, Dolphins. Vikings at home. They just got embarrassed. Brandon took the Vikings. I'm going to take the Vikings. Their offense was terrible. They just fired John DeFilippo, their offensive coordinator.
I saw that.
Which was surprising because he was the next head coach, quote unquote, who was like the next guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I don't know if it's his fault. Kirk Cousins, is he worth
You think he goes to
$84
Green
million?
Bay and just becomes
No.
a man? You think
don't
you
think
Green
so.
Bay hires him?
I think Green Bay wants McDaniels.
You think so?
Yeah.
But if they don't get him, do you think it would be DeFilippo?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Where do you think he ends up?
Probably back as an OC somewhere. I don't think he'll be a head coach. I think which is
Would you
dumb.
take him in Dallas over Linehan?
After watching the game he called for the first 3.5 quarters I was up? No.
Do you think McDaniels would want to deal with Aaron Rodgers, though?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's
It's his
interesting.
team. I mean,
Yeah.
he runs the show. We found that out the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Yep. I don't, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Does anyone really want to? They're saying, "Oh, we got here. It's a great job. You get Aaron Rodgers, but does anyone really want to coach Aaron Rodgers? Because
No, you don't
he's
have any
like
control.
He's like LeBron.
Yeah.
He's going to call the plays. That's what he said he did. He said he would change every Mike McCarthy play pretty much that he called.
Yeah.
He pretty much kicked him out the door. Mike McCarthy's not a bad head coach.
No.
I think at the end of it, after watching, I think he stopped caring more than anything, which isn't good, But when your team, at least your quarterback, gives up on you, the quarterback probably has more of the locker room than the coach does at that point. Which
Oh,
isn't
easily,
good.
yeah.
Not good at all.
Yeah, especially if you're Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Gary,
Oh, Vikings.
Vikings. Okay.
Vikings by a little bit.
Score?
21-18 on my sheet.
Speaking of that, since they are playing the Dolphins, how about that finish against New England?
Love
Holy
it.
shit.
Love it.
Gronk looking like the abominable snowman out there trying to make a tackle was phenomenal.
I have 67 yards to stop this guy, and I'm not going to make it. 69 yards.
Thank
I'm sorry.
you. Thank you.
Missed 2 yards.
Thank you.
And he did not do a fucking thing.
He Bambied it right to there, and his legs gave out, and he fell down. It was
It's
fantastic.
like an old man.
Which I don't understand. Why, when you have literally a 70 yards, and Tannehill can't throw the ball, so if it's a 69-yard play from scrimmage, and I'm gonna say that, which means you have to drop back and throw
Son
the
of a
ball.
bitch, I have to interrupt you. Celtics and Wizards end of regulation tied.
No one cares. The Cavs are on right now. They won.
But the Celtics won 6 in a row, damn it.
Well, that's not the Cavs. So anyways, you're outnumbered here.
It's real to me, damn it.
You know what I've never heard in my lifetime? I've never heard someone say this, okay? Hey, the Wizards, that's my team. Not once ever.
That's true. I couldn't tell you a time that I've heard that either. There are about to
Even-
be nobodies here soon.
No.
Even when Jordan, do you remember when Jordan was a Wizard?
I had a Jordan Wizards jersey.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dead serious.
Oh my.
was it 45? Was that his number when he was with
He was
the
a
Wizards?
23.
It was 23 with the
23?
Wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just couldn't dunk a ball.
When was he 45? Was it when he came back to
Back
the
from the
Bulls?
MLB.
Yeah, that's it.
From the Barons.
Yes, double A.
Let's see if they. We got the NBA network up
Oh,
here.
Paw Patrol's on.
Let's watch that. Paw Patrol.
Okay, we'll get back to NFL. Next game, Cowboys at Colts. It's gonna be a good one. Brandon took the Cowboys. Yeah. Man, this is tough. The Colts have been playing good football. They're at home, but they play indoors. Dallas can play indoors. Give me the Cowboys by 3.
Cowboys.
Taking the Colts by 1, and it's hard. This was the hardest pick of the week.
I'm not going to be surprised. The magic number for Dallas is 1
Yeah.
to win. So if they win this week, they're resting the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
And they played after this. They played
Buccaneers.
Tampa and New York. So
Right.
Zeke's my favorite running back in the NFL right now, and I'm still picking Colts.
And I'm glad, and I'm happy to see Saquon look good from Penn State. Saquon looking good for the Giants.
I'm happy to seeing Saquon look good and the Giants sucking. That's my favorite.
Well, and like we said, if somehow Dwayne dropped to the Giants, that would be insane.
You
Dwayne and Saquon, and Odell's okay, but if you get a guy that can throw to Odell's a good receiver. Eli's not what he was, and he wasn't. I don't think he was ever that good, honestly.
Well,
but he has 2 Super Bowls.
I mean, their line is trash, so they need an offensive line before they. They need a quarterback, but they need an offensive line. It's bad. It
right.
is.
What was your score? You said 1.
24-23.
Not a bad pick. Next game.
Ravens at home against the Buccaneers. Give me the Ravens. Brandon took the Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah. I mean, they have a shot
Ravens.
to win the division as well, with Pittsburgh losing
They
3
do.
in a row.
Score for you?
30-20.
I like it. Next game, Lions at Bills. Brandon took the Lions. I'm going the other way here. Give me the Bills at home. They should have beat the Jets. They blew it.
Hey.
Got the
We
Bills
go
too?
together.
All
Bills
right.
together.
Podcast material.
I had to look at my notes because I couldn't remember. But yeah, because he broke a Josh Allen broke a Mike Vick record of most yards within most rushing yards by a quarterback in a 3-game span. Josh Allen now owns that record
I like it.
over Mike Vick.
Good.
I like the Bills as well. I think both teams are just trying not to suck at this point in the season.
Score?
Let's go 14-10.
Low.
No, it's not going to be a fun game to watch.
No, I agree.
Not one
So
bit.
have you and I agreed no, I took the Browns over the Broncos. Otherwise, we've agreed the whole way so far.
Okay.
Next game.
Next game, Packers at Bears.
Packers for dub.
He took the. Oh, what an idiot. Yeah, give me the Bears.
You know where I'm going. I'm going to have to say it.
Chi-Town.
Bears on the podcast. Ryan, what do you got?
I'll take the Bears.
Score?
24-21. It's going to be close.
Next game, Redskins at Jaguars. Brandon took the Redskins. Give me the Jaguars here.
I'm the deciding vote again. You know what the hell I'm doing.
Josh Jackson as quarterback? Ugh. No thanks.
Nope. Podcast for the Jaguars. What do you got?
Going Jaguars 10-3. It's going to be a shit game.
10-3.
I like
10-3.
And I could totally see that and agree with you there. Next game, Titans at Giants. This is actually going to be a better game than most people probably think. Giants are on a heater. Like you said, technically still have an outside shot to make the playoffs.
They need, eight crazy things to happen.
Yeah, it's like 17. It's something insane. But, hey, crazier shit's happened before.
I agree.
I think that this kills their playoff shot. Tennessee's going to win this game.
And this is where we go the other way again. I'm going to have to agree with Brandon on this one. Give me the Giants.
Podcast taking the Giants.
Yep.
See, I was going to take Titans.
There we go.
17-14.
Okay. Next game, Seahawks at 49ers. Brandon took the Seahawks. I'm also taking the Seahawks.
Sea chickens.
Is anybody going to take the 49ers?
No.
No.
What if they were the 69ers?
No.
Still no? Okay.
Still no.
I would. Just throwing that out there.
Score?
For me, 35-17.
Okay. Next game, Patriots at Steelers. This will be a good one here. Steelers have lost 3 in a row for the first time since like 2012 or something like that. I can't remember what stat I saw.
About to be 4.
I think you're right here. It is about to be 4 in a row. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, it's 4 in a row. Patriots.
Patriots.
Score?
Um,
I'm only recording your scores, by the way.
let's go 42-28.
Damn.
That's not going to be pretty.
Okay. Sunday night, Eagles at Rams. You know, this looked great at the beginning of the year. You'd think, okay, Eagles probably had the division pretty close to wrapped up by now. Rams, same. Obviously, the Rams do. The Eagles have a losing record. Rams big here. Especially after getting embarrassed on last Sunday night by the Bears.
Rams.
Monday night.
Hold up. Score?
Oh, sorry.
Say 28-21.
I was hoping you'd say 28 to 21 and a half. Give me a half.
Monday night, Saints at Panthers. Brandon took the Saints. I'm also going to take the Saints. Panthers has lost like 5 in a row, I think.
Yes, Saints all the way. My man, what do you got?
Oh, Saints easy.
Score?
35-20.
All right. You got the picks in for ESPN? Beautiful. So we've got as a podcast, Chiefs, Texans, Browns, Falcons, Raiders, Vikings, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills, Bears, Jaguars, Giants, Seahawks, Patriots, Rams, Saints. So another thing we do here, and you got the agenda, Ryan, but I don't know if you knew what we meant here, is DK picks. So we do DraftKings picks.
Yeah.
So we each pick a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense that we think is going to be solid for the week. So lead us off. Bear, what do you got? Quarterback.
Okay, so quarterback this week, give me Mahomes Thursday night. It's going to be a shootout.
I also have Mahomes.
Same.
Love it. Running back?
Oh, man. I want to kind of go back to the Derrick Henry train after that 4 touchdown. I'm going to go on the opposite side of that game, Saquon.
I, too, have Saquon.
Raiders, Doug Martin.
Interesting. I like that.
I do like that. Wide receiver?
Wide receiver, give me... Luck's going to throw the ball a lot in that Cowboys game. They got a good defense, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hold T.Y. Hilton, so give me T.Y.
I'm not. You know what? I'm going to take... I'm going to go back to old reliable. Give me Michael Thomas, man.
Okay.
Same way.
They just released Brandon Marshall.
I saw that. I did see that.
And you have him
Hi,
too?
Michael Thomas. You're playing the Panthers.
Yeah, right. And in the spotlight. Tight end?
Tight end, Travis Kelce. Pair up with Mahomes. He should
question.
crush this week.
Every week, Travis Kelce. Yeah. Defense?
Texans. Saturday.
Same?
Yep. Houston Texans.
Done. All right. So the fun part here, now we covered college, we did our bowl games, and so we've got the top 3 bowl games of all time for us. So when we do this, Ryan, we usually go 3-1 on this. So unless anybody has honorable mention.
Nah.
Okay, number 3. What do you got, Bear?
Okay, well, my first two, like you said, we're going to go with this as top bowl games as always, and this is your own opinion. So my top 2 bowl games are going to be the most recent Ohio State National Championships. Number 3, which is probably number 1 for most people, Boise State, Oklahoma, whatever the hell year that was when they did the Statue of
42 to
Liberty.
41.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
That was one
They did, and then went for 2.
I mentioned that
Fantastic.
before, one of my favorite games to watch, but bowl game that made honorable mention because all 3 of mine are Buckeyes games. Number 3, 1997 Rose Bowl, Ohio State, Arizona State, Jake Plummer, Arizona State, undefeated. They go play the Sun Devils, and they look like they were going to be national champs. And, Ohio State's defense was so great, and they just pressured him, beat his ass all day long, and they were down. Arizona State was down 14-10, and he had an 11-yard touchdown with 1:40 left in the fourth. And so they were up by 3, and then I love his quote, and I see this all the time. He says, "I only celebrated for a second. You do all that, yeah, yahoo, and then things happen like what just happened to us." And he was worried about it the whole time for good reason. Ohio State QB, remember who it was?
Joe Germain.
Yep.
Joe Germain, a
sophomore,
sophomore
yeah.
backup, drives the Buckeyes 65 yards with the final game-winning score coming on a 5-yard TD pass to
David Boston.
freshman David Boston before he was jacked up.
He was a monster. He was a monster then.
Yes, he was, but not as big as he got. And 19 seconds left in the game. Ohio State ends up winning 20-17. Buckeyes all day. Number 3.
That was my number 3 game.
Oh, good.
That's unfucking real. I had some of the same points pointed out there. The thing about being an Ohio State fan is you learn really quickly. You never count them out.
Yep.
Ever. Even against Purdue this year, part of me did not count them out until I had to count them out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair.
It got away from them too much. But we've had several this season. In 1997, I was senior in high school. Yeah.
97. Where were you?
I was 6.
Senior in high school, freshman in college.
I was 10.
Yeah. No, I remember that game. And
Let's go Celtics 7 in a row.
God.
Sorry.
So same bowl game. All 3 of mine involve Ohio State.
Yeah. My honorable mention was the same as your number 3. I had it in there, but I wanted it all Buckeyes. 2007 is when that was, by the way, Fiesta Bowl.
Okay.
43-42, and you remember who the hell was the quarterback and who was the running back?
Ian
Johnson.
Yep, Ian
Yeah,
Johnson.
and he proposed to his girlfriend afterwards.
When Chris Myers,
yeah.
Chris Myers blew it. Do you have something to ask your girlfriend?
Yeah, idiot.
Like you freaking
Such an
tard.
asshole.
Yeah.
I know.
You have something to ask her? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
moron.
dick.
Number 2.
Number 2 is the 2015 national title. Excuse me. When they, obviously, actually, almost Bama was almost a better game than that. There's my honorable mention. The Bama game was amazing, but beating
Because it was considered a bowl game.
Yes, it was a bowl
at that
game.
point.
And beating Oregon was absolutely amazing.
Smacking them.
And Oregon went up early, if I recall, in that game. They kept it close around halftime, and then Ohio State just pulled away.
bent 'em over
Cardale,
and raped 'em.
absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Obviously, the run he went on, beating Wisconsin 59-0, beating Bama with the monster game by Zeke, and then Zeke having another pretty monster game. But
200 yards
all I
each
can
time.
ever remember is Cardale just running motherfuckers over, just taking off and just plowing these linebackers over like they're 8th grade kids. It was absolutely phenomenal. So that's my number 2.
And flexing the guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I have a feeling Bear and I have swapped our number 1s and number 2s. I have a really strong feeling.
Guaranteed it.
My number 2, and it's only because of the story that went with my number 1, which was his number 2, and the lead-in to my number 1. But my number 2 is 2003 Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State versus Miami, double overtime. I still, to this day, remember do you guys remember the injury on Miami that game?
Willis McGahee.
Oh, yeah, of
Willis
course.
McGahee.
The third quarter. Oh,
I
yeah.
cringe every time I see that name, still
Yeah.
to this day.
But
But
he still had a good NFL career.
he did. I didn't think he'd ever play again
No,
after
No,
that.
not at
Neither
all.
did I.
His knee went inside out.
Yeah, it's gross. But I don't recall ever up until that point being that excited about a game. I don't think I've ever been so nervous during a win. And to pull that out again, we had no business. I don't remember what the line was, but we were the underdogs by I think at least 2 scores.
Well, yeah, they were. And that was the year, Craig Crandall Like closed his eyes and threw the Hail Mary in the Purdue game.
Michael Jenkins.
And here's what pissed me off in the outcome of that game. Gail Sayers mispronounced his name and called him Craig Crandall. And after the game,
Crandall.
He kept. Where's Crandall? I want to talk to Crandall. And I'm like, dude, I learned your name. Learned the quarterback who just won the fucking title's name.
Come on, Gal, you son of a bitch.
I mean, it is your job, right? Right.
Idiot.
But yeah, that double overtime. I mean, and against the team I really hate because I fucking hate Miami. So that was a lot for me.
Right. My number 2 is also Bears' number 2, which is the 2015 National Championship game against Oregon. Whooped their ass. I mean, just to echo everything you said. Zeke with a huge game. Cardell led Ohio State, past Wisconsin, past Alabama, and then past Oregon to win the national title. Number 1?
Number 1 is the 2002 national title, 2003 game, and same backstory for me is that was my uncle was in town. He lives in Manhattan. I see him twice a year. Got to go over to one of his friends' house. I was how old was I? 11, I think. 2002. Yeah, I would have been 11. So it was pretty cool. You're out late. You're with your uncle and his friends, and you're watching the game. And I recall a lot of that game, and it was amazing. It was the first one of my teams I got to see win a championship. So for me, that was extremely special. I was a little bit too young to see the Cowboys win the Super Bowls in the early 90s. So watching my team actually be able to win a title, and then I think also later that year the Red Wings ended up winning. So that was a pretty good year for me. But it was absolutely awesome to see. I remember everything to that day. I can remember most of it. Fantastic. So that is my number 1, the 2002 National Championship underdog, Ohio State Buckeyes.
My number 1 is actually it's a tie. I think that the 2015 Sugar Bowl against Alabama is a better game. You and I watched that game together.
We did.
Yeah.
Weren't we in your basement in your old house?
Yeah, basement of my old
house.
We
were ringing the shit out of that bell.
Out of my cowbell with Brutus on it. And to watch Urban put a hurt on Saban, there just was nothing like that. I knew, though, after we won that game that we were going to smoke Oregon. I did not know going into that game that we were going to beat Bama.
And you remember we were up and it was close. Like when they started coming back within a score, we got nervous. Like, oh shit, it's Bama nervous. Doing it again.
Yeah, and I think Bama was a much better team than Oregon. There was a lot of hype that year about Marcus Mariota, but he's been fine in the NFL. He's been not the most consistent, but it's whatever. Bama was Bama, and we were the giant killers that year.
Yeah.
And and you know what? We won the first ever national championship in the playoffs. That nobody could ever take that away. I don't care how many titles Bama gets from this point forward. We planted that flag on the moon first.
They'll never be the first.
Right. It was us.
It was us. And my number 1 was also the January 3rd, 2003 Ohio State beats Miami National Championship as an 11.5-point underdog in 2 overtimes. And you didn't hear this. I mentioned this on a previous episode. Of the 43 players who started the game, because Chris Gamble played both ways for Ohio State, so instead of 44, there was 43, 37 of them were eventually NFL draft picks. 37 of the 43.
That's insane. That's got to be...
That is nuts, including 18 first-rounders, which is even more incredible.
Has there ever been another team that's had that many? There can't be.
Well, it's between both teams. It was 37. Yeah, because there was 43 starters between their 11 on offense, 11 on D.
Okay, yeah.
So that Miami team, if you go back and look at that team.
No, I think Vince Wilfork was on that team. Obviously, had Will Smith. The funny thing is the best player on that team then was the quarterback who did nothing in the NFL, Ken Dorsey. Still went. Sean Taylor played on that team, I'm pretty sure. Ed Reed.
Ken Dorsey, Willis McGahee, Andre Johnson.
Ed Reed.
Kellen Winslow.
I feel like a lot of Florida quarterbacks at the state level, whether it's Florida, Florida State, Miami, I feel like those guys don't do anything in the NFL.
But here you go.
Yeah. Look back at Charlie Ward. Do you remember Charlie Ward? He won the fucking Heisman. I think he ended up playing basketball.
Roscoe Parrish. He was another one. Here's a fun one. Strank Gore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Vilma.
Frank Gore's still playing, by the way.
Right. Vince Wilfork, like you said. Jonathan Vilma, Sean Taylor. Oh, my gosh.
Frank Gore's been in the NFL for 15 years. That's insane.
And the man he's still running like he's young. I'm watching him this year with Miami. And it's just like, holy shit, the dude can still run, man.
Right.
He's got to be what, 34?
Yeah, 35, something like that.
35,
right around
36, Frank Gore. We'll find that. Stat guy's not here. We'll get a new stat guy. And then of those 100 players that we talked about, 52 went on to be drafted. 58 went on to play in the NFL of those 100 players in that game.
It's insane. Over half that. You can't get many games.
When you
in college
think of that, you think
that.
of how many college programs there are for any of them to get drafted is insane.
Right.
That is absolutely nuts. So did you find that out? How old is Frank Gore? Do you know?
No.
We can ask Google. Ask the Google machine how old Frank Gore is. Frank Gore, how old are you, sir?
I know,
You've been in the NFL forever.
How old is Frank Gore?
You asked Siri.
35.
Yep.
35.
May 14th, 1983. 35 years old.
Not bad. Well,
And he's making $1 million this year.
that's quite a bit. If you figure he makes $1 million every year, $15 million over his career.
That's not much for an NFL player.
Well, he's made more than that, obviously.
I'm just saying.
No,
He just put up 92 yards on 12 carries against New England. I mean, that's solid right there.
That's pretty good.
14,734 yards for his career. I think he's top 4.
Wow, that's incredible.
I think he just broke into the top 4.
So. This was a fun one. We got to pick all the bowl games. It was fun having you on, Ryan. I know you're coming back Saturday for the wrestling show. That'll be fun. But thanks for being on this one. I mean, it's nice to have a grown-ups crossover for the first time officially, the crossover, even though I was on one of your guys's. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to suck at the wrestling one. I'm just going to let you know right now. College football is my thing.
You'll be okay at the wrestling one. It'll be fun because you'll
Okay.
like some of the topics. And then the ending, how we plan to end that, you'll like that one too. So, as always, we like to thank our sponsors. So, thank you to Crandall's Quality Lawn Care, PNC, Verizon, and we said Crandall's Quality Lawn Care, PNC, Verizon, Charlie's Dodge, and then, of course, the original, the OG, All Wear Clothing. Thank you, Brandon, for what you do. Still looking for my swag, my hat. Where is my stuff? Brandon, I hope you hear me. Not the Brandon on the show. Nobody cares about him. Get back. We want our stuff. As always, what is this? Good morning? No,
Yeah,
good
you
morning,
got
good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Can't believe Brandon didn't pick a national title winner.
Peace out.